Hello, everybody. Welcome to our stream today. I swear if you don't put Hercules in S tier. Listen, okay, we haven't even started. Okay, so quick introduction. So what we're gonna do is we are going to be ranking all of the Disney movies, and this list contains pretty much every Disney/Pixar movie as far as I can tell, up until Soul and Rava, which are not out yet. So this seems to be the most comprehensive list that I can find on the internet, and I'm going to be doing it all with my sister right here. You guys have seen her before. So it's been a while since is it Raya? My bad. I said Rava like a V, but I guess the poster is so tiny.
Yeah.
Anyway, the last time we did a tier list was a while ago, so it's good to be back in it. And today we're gonna be doing something that's hotly debated, I think, amongst pretty much everyone of any age, and that's gonna be Disney movies. So you guys are free to join in the conversation with us and talk about these movies together. So as you can already tell, I've already put both of these movies, Soul and Raya, as I've been told, into the have not seen category because they're not out yet. So can't rank them. But all the rest of this tier list goes pretty much as normal, but we're also going to be crowning a best, and I'm just noticing, and a worst Disney movie as well. So these two categories are going to have one particular movie in them, and we're gonna crown both of those. So is there anything you want to say before we get started?
I would like to say that I came with a Disney-inspired hat that I recently got as a gift. It has Lumiere on it, and it says "It's lit." I would like to make sure everybody is aware of that. Okay. I feel like it's a very important contribution to this, because I feel like you also get a good look at what some of my favorite movies are going to be.
Okay. All right. And a little known fact about me as well. Don't really talk about this all that much because I don't really have a reason to, but all my life I've been a pretty avid Disney fan. So I've seen pretty much every movie on this list, and she came in a little later, but she is also a pretty big Disney fan as well. My whole family is. So this is gonna be a fun list to talk about. Anyway, enough introduction. Why don't you guys? I can already see a couple of you are starting to give suggestions and argue a little bit. That's fine. I like that. But we're gonna go ahead and I guess. Are you ready to start?
Yes,
you ready to go?
I'm gonna do myself a service and not look at the chat very much when I make my decisions about something.
She's trying not to get judged.
I'm gonna try to be confident about these decisions, even though I know some of y'all are gonna try to make me not feel confident in some of these choices.
Ooh, Mika says, who's a bigger princess stan? Well, me, obviously.
Oh. I'm actually a Disney princess, so like I don't know.
Okay, well.
You saying you stan?
Why don't we go ahead and get started? Okay, so first movie on our list, 101 Dalmatians. What are your thoughts? You have the mic. You can feel free to grab it if you want to say something, by the way.
Yeah, but
Now, I've seen this movie.
I
have thoughts on it too, but you can go ahead.
I mean, I think it's a cute movie. Certainly not the worst, but I think maybe it would go in like B or C. Because it's cute, but I don't know that it's like as amazing as some of the other movies that are in this list.
What's your problem with it that makes it not as amazing?
Just in comparison to the other Disney movies, there are other movies with better stories, better characters and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong necessarily with the movie. I just think there are other exciting Disney movies.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna say like a good B.
Okay.
Solid B.
See, I agree with you. I think it's pretty middle of the road. See, it looks like chat's kind of agreeing with you too, except for AZ. He says F. But so 101 Dalmatians, I think is a good movie. But if we're judging it on the same merit as a Disney movie, like a regular Disney movie, I think the overall pacing of the movie kind of it kind of falls a little short in the middle, because I feel like when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, these puppies are so cute, and then they get kidnapped, and then the action kind of crescendos a little bit. And then they kind of get used to life, like outside the house or whatever, and then like that one butler guy is like hunting them or something.
Yeah,
I just like the middle part of this movie is such a blur.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean.
I don't remember except for the geese. Like the sassy geese. You remember those two?
I don't care what anybody says. Geese are monstrosities.
It's okay,
creatures. They are so terrifying. You ever seen a goose? You ever seen all the teeth that they have? Geese are terrifying.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's kind of my problem with it. So I think I'm kind of on the same page as you. We're probably going to be putting this in a B.
Yeah.
So B or C, I think, is a pretty good ranking for it. But we can also change it as things go on. So anyway, remake with Glenn Close is more iconic. I haven't seen the remake.
I haven't either.
I didn't know there was a remake. The age hurts it compared to modern day. I think so too. I think the pacing is also just kind of a result of when it came, like the time it came from. So
well, there are some other movies that came out like a while ago that I still feel like are really good movies.
Yeah. See, like, I don't know. I think some of these older Disney movies kind of have a little bit of a slower pacing to them at times.
Yeah.
Which is something that was a little bit more common back in the day.
Right. Right.
But anyway, I'll tell Goose that. Hello, like, what's up, Toaster? How you doing? I have to go eat now, though, also. See you later. Have a good one, Toaster, man. See you later, dude. All right, next one. Allison... That's a Disney movie?
Yeah.
Am I dumb?
I don't know, maybe. It's possible.
Okay, Alice in Wonderland. Wow, that's not the first thing that comes to mind when I think Disney movie. That's basically what I mean. But
Alice in Wonderland is a fever dream of, like, when you watch it. It's such a wild movie because, like, when I was younger, it was like I wasn't obviously really paying too much attention to the story, but as I got older and actually rewatched it, I was like very surprised that this is a movie geared towards children because of some of the themes that are in it. It's an entertaining movie. I think that it's gonna be like a V tier because it's entertaining to watch, but I think for kind of the same reason with 101 Dalmatians, at a certain point, it gets a little slow. It's not incredibly exciting in comparison to the other Disney movies, but it's still fun to watch. Except for the fact that it's like incredibly wild to watch that as a child and be like, okay, yeah, that's totally a children's movie when it's not. Gotcha. So I think it's B.
Yeah, I'm thinking B too. And actually, we can organize these in the tier. So we'll go like left best all the way to the right is the worst in that tier.
Yeah.
So I think it's a B, but kind of like Mika said, it's a little bit better I think than 101 Dalmatians. I think it holds up a little bit better than
I would agree.
That movie does. But chat seems to be kind of agreeing too. Slow pacing is good for Ghibli, not for Disney. True. Alice in Wonderland is like a C for me because I never found it interesting enough because I'm a hyperactive child. How about that?
But that's the thing that, like, it's not incredibly fast-paced like we were talking about with 101 Dalmatians. But, like, there's cute characters that you're like, it's a very, like, of course with Disney's theming, there's cute characters, funny little, you know, things to market to children. But the story itself doesn't make me inclined to make it super memorable in comparison to some of these other movies.
So whenever I first saw Alice in Wonderland, just kind of like a side note before we move on to the next one, the Queen, she scared me.
Yeah, no, she's
scary.
Like, it's...
the Queen is scary because like she's talking about beheading Alice, and I'm like, as a child, I was like,
you're
wow,
like, you're gonna do what now?
That is scary.
I'm frightened.
And then Mom said you're having a sister, and then that was like, by comparison, that was not as scary. But
I despise you.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
How's it going, Court? And Nerd, what's up, dude? Stream is lonely, but I gotta pog through the pain. Do what you gotta do, man. All right, next one on their list, Aladdin. Okay, Aladdin, I think is almost entirely carried by the genie. I think if it didn't have the genie, I'd put it like in C or D. Because the genie just makes the movie, honestly. Like, I can't think of another character that I super duper love in this film, other than maybe like Iago, because he's funny sometimes. What do you think? I can tell you're thinking something.
Well, Aladdin is like one of my favorites, if not my favorite Disney movie. So it would rank very high for me. Like, at least A tier, if not maybe even S tier, because I personally really like Jasmine. I really wanted to be her when I was younger. I appreciate her thing about not wanting to be like a prize to be won. I appreciate her pet tiger.
No man, except for when Aladdin comes around, and she wants that man.
Well, she got that tiger. She don't need Aladdin. That tiger will eat anybody she wants. But like, I think it's a very interesting story. More so following Aladdin and talking about like how he goes and pursues her in this very traditional way, but she's very she's very put off by it. But I don't know, I think it's a much more interesting story. And I just really like Aladdin. I like Abu very much. I think he's very funny.
Would you think that, do you agree that the movie's kind of carried by the genie, or do you think it would be fine without him?
I mean, I think that Genie is a very, very prominent character. I think he carries a lot of the story as well, but I think Aladdin and Jasmine are one of my favorite pairings just because of the development of both of them.
Okay.
So I would personally say maybe like an S tier or A tier.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'll probably put it in like A for now. And we'll see about S, because S, well, nah, we'll put an S.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Okay, like whenever I'm thinking Disney, I think that's one of the first things that comes to my head is Aladdin, so I think we'll put it in S for now.
It's very iconic.
Marissa said she didn't want Aladdin, Aladdin wanted her, and she was like, okay, I'm down. Kinda true. All right, Aristocats. Did you ever watch Aristocats?
I did.
Okay, well, no, you loved Marie. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I like
okay,
her.
you go ahead.
I like her whole thing about a lady does not start a fight, but she can finish one. I think it's a cute movie. I think maybe...
You like her because she's a sassy sister.
I think she's funny. I think she's very funny. Her and I relate, you know what I mean?
You identify with her.
I identify as Marie from Aristocats. No, I mean... I would probably have to say either a B or C tier, because I think it's a very cute movie, but I think also with the pacing, it's a little on the slower side. And I think like the main characters, obviously, it's like the little kittens and everything, very cute. But
I didn't like the dude. Like the orange guy? I can't remember his name.
But like I can't remember very many scenes other than when they're singing about how everybody wants to be a cat and
Okay,
stuff.
that song goes off though.
It slaps, but
everybody wants to be a cat.
But to me, like,
Which is true.
does everybody want to be a cat?
I'll be a cat.
Sound off in the comments. Do you want to be a cat?
Okay, is this my channel, yours, or what?
So y'all want to be a cat, or like, if y'all want to be a cat, what kind of cat y'all want to be? I want to know.
Thomas O'Malley, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember now.
I don't know. I think that for me to put Disney movies in like A tier, S tier, there has to be more than one bop in the movie. Like there has to be a little bit more of a substance other than that. So I personally would put it maybe on a low B or a high C tier.
Okay. See, I was kind of thinking similar. I think Mika's kind of spot on here. I was watching the chat while you were talking, and she says Aristocats is above 101 Dalmatians and under Alice in B, so like in the middle there. And I think that's a good place to put it.
Yeah.
And I do kind of feel what she's saying a little bit on, it's like a lot of these older movies, maybe it's just because I was so young, or maybe it's just because they're like a different formula altogether, but I feel like a lot of the times I don't really remember the specifics too much. Like I forgot Thomas O'Malley's name. That's like I didn't even remember that.
I knew Marie's name.
I know Marie.
Know the rest of the cats
I know
in this
Marie
movie.
because she's got a really loud personality. But like the siblings and like the cat that plays the trumpet and like and see I'm struggling to even remember. So
I agree, they are a product of their time.
yeah. A lot of those older movies I think kind of fall to that fall to those whatever you would call it a little bit.
So sound off in the comments. Y'all want to be a Dalmatian or y'all want to be a cat? Also, y'all kind of on a mini tangent, then we'll get back to this. Y'all seen the Cats movie? Cause
God.
I just want to know, y'all seen it? Cause like, unfortunately, I did.
Unfortunately, she did.
That's all. Back to the Disney things.
True.
That's all. That's all I wanted.
Oh my God! Wait, have you ever seen Atlantis?
No.
Really?
I don't.
You need to
think
watch
so.
Atlantis.
I haven't seen it. When did it come out? I'm dead.
It came out in 2001. 2001. You were 1 year old.
1 year old. Depending on what month.
Wowzers.
Probably about 1 year.
Okay, well, I have seen this movie, and I gotta tell you, it's okay. Let me see. There's another. I'm trying to see if they have the other movie that I compare it to all the time on this list, but I don't think they do. But whenever I think of Atlantis, oh, there it is. Yeah, I think Atlantis is okay. I think Treasure Planet is way better, which I don't think you've seen Treasure Planet either. But Treasure Planet is like it's like a sci-fi version of the story Treasure Island. So, and also it's got a really good song in there. Pops off so hard. Oh my God. Ah, man. But anyway, so I think Atlantis is probably gonna be like I'll put it in like D, honestly. I'll put it in like D, but Treasure Planet definitely like I'd probably put it in like a B or like high B or A, honestly. I don't know. I really do like this movie. It's definitely a more mature story as well. So if you're ever curious about watching it, it's on Disney Plus.
Right.
I would definitely give it a watch. I'll probably put it in like high B for now.
You think better than Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I had to be in the right mood to watch Alice in Wonderland, but Treasure Planet. Oh, man, I'm telling you, there's one song in that movie that is just so good. I love it.
Amazing.
Anyway, Alec didn't even welcome me. Welcome, Jabron. Jabron, YG, Twitch user and founder of the channel. Hello. Oh, man. Okay, so next one. What we got? Bambi. You've seen that, right?
I have.
Okay.
I have seen Bambi.
Bambi. I think it's just sad.
Are you a movie critic? That's crazy. That was a really thought. Wow.
I think it's just sad. I think that's like its thing.
They should put that as the reviews on the box for the movie. I think it's just sad. Acclaimed critics have mentioned.
It's just
sad.
It's just sad. Like the scene with Thumper and like his love interest or whatever is kind of cute, but like the rest of it is just sad.
Yeah.
And not in like a feel good way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with the nice solid B.
Where did you see that?
I can't read actually.
It's AZ.
Yes.
AZ,
Okay.
solid B.
Okay.
So we're getting like B's and C's here, which I think it's like, if we're gonna put it in B, we'll have to put it below 101 Dalmatians. If we put it in C,
it's a standalone.
it's just kind of like by itself for now. So
I think we should put it in C, maybe then.
you think C?
Yeah, because it's okay, but it's not like if the movie came on, I would put it on maybe as background noise. It's a fun movie in terms of like a couple of cute scenes, but I think it's too sad for me to want to watch
It's like,
a lot.
You're watching and you're like, oh my God.
You're like, oh my God. It's the same thing with Alice in Wonderland that you're like, I'm a child. Why am I watching this? I'm sad.
Like, I'm a child.
I'm sad. I hate it here. I just want them to be happy. Why? I mean, it's in comparison to the rest of the Disney movies, it's okay. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's not outstanding.
Yeah.
So.
See, I think like, okay, I think a good amount of the movie is fine, but up until the big, thing that happens in Bambi, right?
No
We've all
spoilers.
seen it, but I'm gonna say it right now. So if you don't want to hear Bambi spoilers, I guess just mute me for a sec. But after Bambi's mom dies, I'm like,
He's checked out.
I check out. Exactly. I'm checked out. So, and also, how old is Bambi?
I don't remember. I don't know if did they mention how old Bambi is?
I don't know. Bambi's got to be like 2.
I know.
Or something. It's just like.
Right? Oh my god, yeah. That was wild.
So, yeah, I think C. Marissa said, I already hate your list. What about it?
It's a good thing it's not your list.
Oh.
That would be really embarrassing.
Oh my god. Okay. Ooh,
Beauty
next one. Beauty and the Beast.
All
right, but that Beast though?
Right. Y'all seen that Beast?
Y'all seen
that
Beast?
Beast?
That's a
seen that
handsome
Beast?
fellow right there. Not
seen
the
that
human
Beast?
form. The human form's
Y'all seen
trash.
that Beast?
Get him out. But Animal Beast though?
Yeah, we hate
I wouldn't mind being locked up. But Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, that's got to be like an easy S or something.
Yeah, I mean it's a really good movie. I don't like the fact that she falls in love with her captor, but
Yeah, I don't like the Stockholm thing either.
I'm not a fan, but like the music slaps, the storyline is intriguing. That
Yeah.
You want to know what happens, be our guest, all like
Pops
I
off.
pop.
Absolutely.
Lumiere's on my hat.
Lumiere's
like,
on her hat.
Yeah, so,
The
like,
Beast pops off. And freaking Mrs. Potts whenever she takes the mic over when they're dancing.
Yes.
Oh. Yes.
Come
Okay.
together.
So Beauty and the Beast. Yes, absolutely S tier. I think
know,
it's
in that
just.
little town, it's a
Ooh.
quiet village.
Next question. Would you put it above or below Aladdin?
Below.
Below?
I would say below.
Oh, she said below.
Well, because Aladdin is like my favorite Disney movie. Or
Okay.
at least pretty much up there.
Yeah.
So,
This is definitely one of those definitive, like, gotta see Disney movies.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
anybody that likes Disney has to see this movie, if they haven't already.
or anybody that's looking to really get into Disney movies, it's like if you gotta see a couple,
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast has to be in that list of Disney movies you gotta watch, regardless of the level of appreciation you have for Disney.
Mika said there is no Stockholm Syndrome. She chose to stay. But
Well-
isn't that a result of the
No.
situation that she's in?
She chose to stay because the option was letting her dad be there instead.
You take the mic. You got this.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a little touchy because she loves her dad so much and she chooses to be there because the other option is for the Beast to keep her dad locked up, and it doesn't seem like he was very keen on like being nice to him in the process. She seemed a lot more like she was gonna fight for the things she wanted. She seemed a lot more like I don't know. It's kind of hard because like
I think it's hard to judge because we're not in her head.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with that also because she did try to run away, but she almost got attacked. Well, she did get attacked, and then the Beast came in and saved her. So like, maybe it's not completely, but it's not exactly a very innocent story about like, oh, they met and fell in love. Like she was in there because of a result of a somewhat agreement that she made with the Beast. So she did choose to come back after like the people were trying to come and kill the Beast and everything. She went home because he let her go.
Yeah.
So there are moments with that, but I don't know. I think that's a little part of the movie that I'm like, it's not great. But
Yeah, it's not the best situation. I think I could see it kind of both ways, but as an outsider looking in, as someone who doesn't like understand where because no one really asked where she's coming from, right?
said,
no one
who
asked. Like who asked? No one.
No one did.
But since nobody did, I mean, the only person that really knows for sure is her. And as an outsider looking in, it looks a lot like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, it's not great.
But she could have just had a change of heart. And I do recognize as well that the Beast does end up trying to make the effort to change for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I also do feel like that's kind of a result of her resisting him so much.
Yeah.
You know?
But he's also kind of under a certain
Yeah, you can take it.
with the spell with the rose where like if he doesn't fall in love with her or whatever, then he's gonna stay a beast forever. So he is on a bit of a time crunch, and they talk a little bit about who he was before he was a beast, with being very vain and kind of valuing beauty before everything else. So it's interesting to think about if he wasn't on this time constraint, if she didn't choose to be there because of her saving her father and everything, would they have actually fallen in love?
See, yeah, and that's definitely where some of the added layers come from. So, who really knows? Who really knows? I think it's kind of hard to say, but I could see it both ways. Colossal says, what qualifies as a Disney movie? Do Pixar, Marvel, or Star Wars count? Marvel and Star Wars, no. Pixar, yes. As you can see, there's all 4 Toy Story movies here. There's WALL-E. So everything Disney and Pixar, as far as I know, is on this list. So, by the way, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Anyway, next movie is a movie that I don't really have too much of an opinion on, to be quite honest with you. Big Hero 6.
Okay.
What do you think?
I saw this movie,
Go ahead.
and I actually I very much appreciate it. I think it's very interesting to talk about the dynamic between the little brother and his older brother. I don't want to reveal any spoilers, so
What's
I'm not
his
going to
name?
I don't remember. But
Tadashi!
it is, oh my god. But I don't remember the specific characters' names, but I do remember like the story being very interesting, and I do remember appreciating it a lot. It made me feel really good. It made me feel really invested in the characters, and obviously you just gotta. It's very sciencey as well, which I have never really seen. Very what's the word I'm looking for? Focused on like technology and the development of technology, and how the technology that his brother built kind of allows him to. I don't know. I think it's very interesting.
Okay.
I wish I remembered the characters' names.
So where would you put it then on a list?
I
'Cause
very
people are saying like A.
yeah. I mean,
A or B.
I'd have to agree. It's A tier. It's a very
You think
good.
so?
Yes, I do. I think it's a very cute movie. I really appreciate the storyline.
Man, I watched it like once or twice,
Uh-huh.
and both times I walked away from it kind of like, because after the science fair, right, where
Uh-huh.
the big event happens, again, spoilers, but when his brother dies,
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of lose interest after that, because that was such a big emotional moment.
Uh-huh.
And after that, I mean, I guess you have this guy, the big, robot guy that his brother built.
Baymax.
But Baymax, that's what it is. But I don't know. Like, I don't. I told you, I don't really have that many thoughts on this movie.
Right.
But something about it just didn't resonate with me all that much. Maddie, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Woo.
So you would put it in an A or B?
I would put it in an A.
Okay. Above Alice in Wonderland, you
Yes.
think? Okay. I would probably agree with that, though.
Yeah.
Because Alice in Wonderland, yeah, I definitely feel like I'd have to be in a mood to watch that movie. Welcome back, Toaster. Good to see you, man. Can't remember, is Treasure Planet on this list? It is, and I put it up here in B. So, the next one, I don't think you've seen.
I have not.
It's another really old one. It's The Black Cauldron. D.
No discussion there.
It doesn't even feel like a Disney movie, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those movies that, have you ever seen those movies where people often mistake for a Disney movie, but it actually isn't?
Yeah.
So I feel like this is in its own category, to where people think that it's a Disney movie and then they're like, oh, that's totally not, but it is,
Yeah.
because it's so different. It's yeah. Colossal said it's also a very strange film.
Uh-huh.
And it's definitely one of the older ones as well. So even older than, I think, Alice in Wonderland and some of these here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact timeline, but I think it's one of the oldest ones on here. Anyway, wasn't a huge fan. So we're moving on. Oh, yeah, wasn't a huge fan of that one. Wasn't a huge fan of this one. Do you have any thoughts on Bolt?
I think
Yes, Bolt was Disney, by the way.
I think Bolt should be in like B or C category. It's not super
Really?
special. I didn't like it a lot.
But you would like it enough to consider it on par with 101 Dalmatians?
Well, I would maybe put it in C, below Bambi.
Below Bambi?
Uh-huh.
Like right here?
Yeah, it's an average movie.
Yeah.
It's not bad, it's just not super good either.
I think it's super average, and
Miley Cyrus is in
It's
it.
easy to forget that it's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So that is a very valid question, Colossal.
Yeah, if you can't remember, if you can't tell if it's a Disney movie
Like,
or not, it's probably not above a B tier.
The biggest thing I remember is Miley Cyrus,
Yeah.
and at one point they're in like a grassy field or something.
Yeah. It's not super memorable.
I don't know. It's not. It's really not.
It's okay.
Mika said the Black Cauldron I saw for the first time recently. The concept is really good, but the whole thing felt like it was building to a big epic climax that never came, so I give it an F.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's definitely not great. I've never forgot about Bolt. Marissa said Bolt is S tier. Okay, that's just wrong.
I don't agree.
That's just
I
wrong.
respectfully don't agree.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Brave.
Okay.
Brave is a I think divisive one, I think.
Brave is okay. Okay, so I'm about to get hated for this probably, I don't know. But I think that I didn't really like Brave very much. I appreciated this storyline in this movie where she is not fighting for love, that she is really just fighting to be like, I don't need a husband to be worthy to rule. I am, independent, and I am capable of ruling this kingdom on my own, and that should be prevalent without a man standing by my side. But I personally just was not overall super entertained by the film, other than just like, oh, the message is nice, but I wasn't like, yeah, I'd watch it over and over again. So I'd maybe put this in like a C or a D.
C or D?
Like a high D or like a C in the middle.
All of the movies I put in D, I've been the one to put in D, I just realized too. Marissa said you never saw it. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's, I think even Disney knows that this isn't one of their stronger films either, because she's also not really brought up a whole lot in the princess conversation, right?
I mean,
because she's technically a princess.
She is
technically.
She is a princess.
'Cause her dad
parents
is,
are
like-
the king and queen of the kingdom.
Yeah.
So she is a princess.
And I think even Disney knows that it's not a very popular film because you don't really see her like in the parks or like in any of the.
You can meet her, but she's not. I can't imagine that she's a very popular princess in comparison to like Cinderella or.
Yeah, because whenever they do those like princess cavalcades,
Anna,
right? She's not there.
No, not really.
I mean, to be fair, neither is Jasmine a lot of the time. But I think more often than not, she's not really mentioned all that much by Disney themselves. This doesn't feel like a film that's really talked about all that much ever since its release.
Yeah.
I know she's in the parks, Amika. I know this. I've been there, but
she's not like as popular as the
she's
rest of the
not where
characters
you
out
would
there.
see like all the typical like Disney princesses. She's not. A lot of the times you'll see like Belle, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah. Or even Anna and Queen Elsa.
Anna and Queen
everything like
Elsa, but she's not like on par. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that's the right word, but I don't know. I feel like the movie itself, to back away from that conversation for a second, I feel like the movie itself, too, is, it's okay. I wasn't really too entranced by the story, to be honest with you.
Same.
I like her character.
No,
That's one thing I do like. I like her character.
I like the idea of what the movie represents and the fact that, like I said, it's about like there's not a love interest. It's about her journey of figuring herself out and proving to everybody, even though she doesn't necessarily have to, proving that she can be her own person and rule, and that she doesn't need a man.
Yeah.
But like the story itself, I'd say maybe it's like a C tier under Bolt.
Yeah, C tier under Bolt for sure. Mika says it
Put
grew on
Finding
me. I
Nemo
give
in
it a
the tier
C.
already.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I'd probably put it in C too. Like, we can reorganize these later, but I think this is pretty solid so far. Marissa said put Finding Nemo in A tier already. Okay, give me a second. I don't even know where that is. Somewhere
Is
on
the
here.
Little Mermaid in here?
It's kind of hard to see with all the movies next to each other,
Yeah.
but yeah, probably.
Oh, there it is.
I just can't see it.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Oh God, Brother Bear, man. Oh, Jesus. I don't like this movie. I personally don't.
I don't remember too much about the plot. It more invokes feelings of like nostalgia more than anything, because this was like one of the movies that I watched when I was like a lot younger and when we were still living in like the old house and everything. Yeah, I couldn't speak too much about what particularly happens in the movie, so maybe it's more C tier, just because I don't have too much of an opinion on it.
Yeah. It's... I feel like it's kind of... I feel bad for saying some of this, because Colossal said Brother Bear's S tier is such a cute film, but I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't really enjoy it. It was so forgettable to me, and I honestly can't even tell you what the main bear's name is. I can't remember his name. I remember the moose being funny, like every now and then, but this is one of those movies that I just don't remember a whole lot of, and there's a reason for that, and it's just that I didn't really vibe with it. I don't know. So I'll probably put it here.
Okay.
I don't despise it as much as Black Cauldron, that's for sure. But I do feel like I would be more up for watching Atlantis over Brother Bear, so that's why I'm putting it there.
Gotcha.
I do not have the smallest care for Brother Bear, says Mika. Cars 1, 2, and 3 all in S tier.
Ew.
Don't worry, we'll get to those movies in a second. I'm gonna rank them all at once because they're all the same. But that's a conversation after this one, which is Bug's Life. Bug's Life? You liked this movie when you were younger. I remember that.
I liked this movie when I was younger. The thing is, I haven't really seen it a lot since I was younger, so I don't. I guess if I did like it when I was younger, that's a separate thing. I don't have many updated opinions about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a very cute movie. I don't have too many updated opinions about it. I don't remember too much about how the movie made me feel, if that makes sense. Like, I remember what happens, but I don't remember particularly loving it or like despising it or being indifferent about it, really.
Yeah. So, for Bug's Life, you know what's funny is that looking at it through the lens of the age that I am now, the movie is very it's very how do I say political?
Really?
Yeah, because like you have this other party, which is the grasshoppers, taking over the ants. And basically putting them in their place, saying like, you do what you're told because we're stronger. And there's this one speech that I can't remember the villain's name, but like the big head honcho grasshopper, he's like, if one of them stands up, they will all stand up. And they're afraid of that because there's more of them than there are of the grasshoppers.
Oh my god.
And that's like the whole crux of the movie.
What was Disney
is like
on?
it's like them getting the courage to stand up against the like government that's oppressing them, right?
Yeah,
so
and it's a very bold thing to put in a child's movie.
It's really good, actually. I think it paid off so well. But A Bug's Life too also has some really funny moments to it as well. The ladybug is hilarious. The caterpillar is really funny too. That's the one that I remember you quoting a lot. And then the two roly-polies, like there's so many funny parts of that movie. So I would probably put it in like an A. Probably a Big Hero 6.
Oh, you haven't seen Big Hero.
I've seen Big Hero 6.
I thought you had.
I've seen it twice.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't really love it.
I see.
I didn't have very many thoughts on it. Viv, what's up, dude? Oh, custom Discord roll. Yo, shoot me a message or one of the mods, and we'll hook you up. Also, welcome to the stream, my guy. And everyone else that's just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. This is me and my sister. We're ranking all of the Disney movies, all the animated ones from worst to best, onto a tier list here. So, thank you, Leafy. I appreciate it, man. Moving on, we have Cars 1, 2, and 3. Now, I will agree that Cars 1 is a little different than 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I think we can rank this one independently from 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are kind of the same, I feel like.
Yeah.
I've never seen 3, but I don't feel like I have to.
I don't think so. I think you're right. I agree with that.
So I'm gonna put Cars. I mean, can I just say something real quick? The most interesting part, I think, of these movies is the biological, political, relationship, all the questions that go along with it, right?
Mhm.
So there's one character in this movie that is like a military car. Does that imply that there was a car war? Do cars die in the war? What happens when they die? Can they be repaired? If you repair them, do they live forever? Where do baby cars come from? There's baby cars in the movie.
Oh my god, that's true. That's a good
If you
point.
put gas in the car, is that their food? Or is that their blood? Why do
don't know.
since the cars have mouths and tongues, what do they eat? I thought gas was their sustenance. Do they eat things? Do they consume protein like animals?
I don't know. That's a really good point.
If they have teeth, they also have oral health.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to brush their teeth? If they don't, do they get plaque? Do they get cavities? Cavities from what? You know?
Interesting.
So I think that is the most interesting part of all those movies.
That is.
Also, there's a Pope car at one point during these. So is there a car Jesus? Is there a car religion?
Is there a car religion?
Carstianity? I don't know.
I hate you. I despise you.
So I think that's the most interesting part of these films. Honestly, I think at the time people thought Mater was hilarious, but honestly, I think nowadays Larry the Cable Guy's kind of cringe. So I don't really think the movie's all that funny anymore either. So for Cars 1, I would probably put it in like low C.
I agree. I agree.
And then 2 and 3, I'd probably put an F. That's just okay. They took the Larry the Cable Guy thing and just went too
Ran
far.
with it.
They went way too far. So they gotta relax at some point. But yeah, I think Cars 1 is kind of like a bottom C, and then F for the other two. Yeah, I talked about this really recently. Actually, we were playing Rocket League, and then we started talking about cars, and I was like,
Just went
baby cars. Where do
Go
they?
off, King. Go off.
So do they like give birth to a car, or do they like manufacture a baby car? Do they get to just decide what the car looks like? Do the cars grow up? Do they get new bodies, or do they just grow?
I don't know.
Anyway, Chicken Little. You ever seen Chicken Little?
I have.
What do you think?
I don't know. Chicken Little was one of those movies that I feel like I associate with like when did it come out? Like I must have been in elementary school
Really
at this
early
point.
2000s, I think.
Really? I feel like Chicken Little was the movie I watched when I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I feel like Chicken Little was the movie that I watched when I was like homesick or something. So it was like a comfort movie, but at the same time, it's not one of my favorites. I'm pretty indifferent about it, to be completely honest.
Indifferent.
Like maybe if I had to put it in the tier list, I would say it's like a C tier, maybe. Between Bolt and Brave, almost.
Like right here.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion.
Okay. So, I think, I'm gonna knock out her teeth if you keep shoving that mic in her face.
Oh my god.
So, I think Chicken Little is much like my favorite Disney movie, which we'll get to, soon enough, is very underappreciated for its comedy. Whoever the lead role is, I can't remember his name, but like just all the little bits and all the little like tiny moments that Chicken Little has throughout the movie are just so funny. And obviously there's something to be said about the overarching story. It's a little ridiculous. And his relationship with his dad. It's a little trash up until the end. But I think as a comedy movie on its own, which I would probably categorize it as, it's really funny. Not as funny as the other movie that I'm thinking of, but it's really funny. So I'll probably put it in like probably put it in like A,
You think?
like right there.
Wow, really?
There's gonna be more movies here, so this looks a little wrong at the moment, but I'd probably put it like here for now.
Interesting. You
Yeah.
think it's better than Big Hero 6?
I think it's definitely funnier.
I think Big Hero 6 is just a better movie.
Well, there's some people in chat that are saying A tier too, so I don't know.
Well.
I think like A, bottom A.
Like you said, more movies
probably
will
it's
get
probably gonna
more-
end up
get a
more
better
towards the
idea.
bottom
Yeah,
of
yeah.
A tier
But we'll
as
see.
it goes on. Zach
see.
Braff, that's who it is. Yeah, he played the role so funny. Cinderella.
Cinderella. It's an iconic.
That movie makes me bored. Is that controversial to say?
I think Cinderella is a B tier movie above Alice in Wonderland. Mostly because I'm very entertained by the princess movies. I think it's cute. I'm not too fond, maybe, of the. I don't know how this paints me to be, but I'm not too fond of the idea that she needed a man to rescue her. Just generally, and that being the most exciting part of this movie, almost. But I think it's a classic movie that, like, the her losing the slipper and the prince looking for her and everything like that. I think it's just iconic.
Yeah, if we were judging these movies based off of impact and just like the level of notoriety alone, I would probably put it in S or probably even the highest. Just because, like Mika said, Cinderella saved the studio in 1950.
Yeah.
But whenever I watch the movie, I feel so bored.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're incorporating more than just the impact. Because if we were just talking about the most popular Disney movies, this would be a very different tier list.
Yeah.
But
that's
why I say it's like a B tier, that like it's iconic and you watch it and you're like, yes, it's iconic, but it's not the most exciting. I would watch it before I would watch Bolt or Brave, honestly.
It has such a slow beginning, I think. And it's just so laser focused on how much her life sucks. Then I'm like, okay, can I go watch something else? God, like, I feel just so frustrated watching her sister, or sister, quote unquote. Yeah. And like the stepmom or whatever, just like bully her for the first hour. It's like.
But that's what I mean. That like I'm not thrilled about the fact that the most interesting part of this movie is the prince coming to save her, and that I'm not thrilled that it paints it out to be like she needs a man, cause like.
See, Mika's saying that Cinderella never wanted a man. She wanted to get out of that house, and the man was a happy accident.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That it's like that's the way she has to, unfortunately.
So you wanted her to go all like Rambo and like say hello to my little friend, get out of the house and storm out.
Okay, maybe I just want her to like murder her family and then leave. That's not what I'm saying.
So you were thinking more like Splinter Cell. She's like sneaking through the air vents and making an escape.
I'm not mad at a love story. What I am mad about is that the reason that they get married and fall in love isn't really based on much. That he was like, oh, she cute, and she was like, oh, he rich, and like that's how they kind of got.
Marissa
together.
brings up a good point. He is the one that came chasing after her because she left him.
Yeah. But.
You know, and it's also interesting that you say this as well, considering how much you seem to like the first Wonder Woman movie, like the DC one.
What about it?
It had a pretty big focus on her having a relationship too.
She grew up with a bunch of like Amazonian warriors, and she was talking.
What more could you want?
I don't think that movie paints her to need a man. If anything, she seems very confused by his existence. Like
she definitely had feelings for him by the end of it.
Somebody. I'm not saying that like being in a relationship with someone or marrying someone in any of these Disney movies is not a good ending. I'm just saying what it's built on, and just kind of being like, oh well, he was like, she's pretty, let's marry her. They didn't really.
Let's
talk
be
to each
honest,
other
it's the
that
feet
much.
that did it for him. He was like, damn, those are some honkers. Where'd she go?
Oh my god. We hate it here.
Mika said it was never her motivation. She just wanted to go to the party, have a night away from the abusive life, and the prince was the one who came to her.
Mhm.
Was that her motivation? I don't know.
Well, she wanted to.
Oh, yeah. She wanted to go to the ball, have a nice dress, and feel like, I don't know,
I
like
thought-
pretty for once. That was like her thing. She wasn't going to find somebody. That is true.
Yeah, but like I'm not convinced that she even really liked him. You know what? When you marry someone, you marry someone because you want to be with them, not because it's better than the
She's like,
alternative.
ooh, he got money.
I mean, like, like when we think about it, when we're in relationships, we gotta stop just solely thinking about the man's looks. We gotta think about other aspects. For example, is he rich? Does he have money?
Okay, dude.
Just kidding.
With that, I'll go put that in like B. You think?
I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a B somewhere. Like I don't know if I would put it above or below Alice in Wonderland.
You want to put it like maybe below, between Aristocats and 101? Or
Here?
maybe below 101?
Here?
Yeah, I think.
Here?
No, it's not the worst.
Yeah, I think I'll put it there.
Yeah.
Be part of the family for once, but they rebuked her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that a huge tell that a movie is going to be bad is if the main cast is musicians and not actors? For example, the later Ice Age movies. I never saw the later Ice Age ones.
I didn't care.
I saw the first one, but
I didn't
that was
care
about it. I don't know. Some franchises I can only take one of.
Yeah, and then you're like, what?
I'm like, I don't need a sequel.
Like,
I think that was pretty
trying
wrapped
to
up.
build on it isn't gonna be as exciting.
I think that had a nice little bow on it, so we can just leave it there.
Separate tier list of all the remakes that Disney's done of these.
There
live
is another one of all the
Ooh.
direct to home like sequels also.
Or the live action ones is what I mean. I don't know that there's too many though.
There's not.
Okay, back on track.
Back on track. Anyway, Coco. What do you think? What do you think?
I love this movie. Okay, so Coco, I would have to say, is probably S tier. Because here's the thing. I appreciate the fact that we kind of talk about Dia de los Muertos in this a little bit. I appreciate the storyline. Because I don't know about you, but like that, plot twist kind of had me a little shook. And I was like, oh my God.
You were like, ¿Por qué?
I was like, what? That's crazy. Like,
Perdón?
I cry every time I watch the movie when he sings Remember Me. I think it's a very sweet movie about family and kind of family traditions and how, like, being an individual and wanting to step out of that is kind of conflicted and that kind of stuff. And I appreciate that it's very heavily about music and not just pop music, but like, this kind of music and kind of talking about
What color is the sky? Amor?
the songs of our people. But I appreciate the message of this movie. I appreciate the characters in this movie as well, and I appreciate the animations, the scenes, because they're very nicely done and they're very, very visually pleasing as well.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever watched it on like this TV, or I think the one in the living room is too, but watching it in like Dolby Vision 4K is so beautiful. Like super high definition HDR, high definition resolution as mom calls it.
High definition resolution, of course.
So Coco I think is really, really cool. It's an awesome movie. I love the focus on music. Music is another one of my passions other than gaming. And I also just kind of love the, like, everything about it. The look, the sound, the cast, like all the characters are funny.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just the result of my background, but seeing like some of these characters and either myself identifying with them or knowing someone in real life that's like that is just so funny. And I think for that I would probably put it in S tier, honestly.
Me too.
It's probably one of the best movies they've made. I would probably rank it like here.
Yeah, I agree.
I do like it more than Beauty and the Beast, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a very important movie that needed to be made too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna skip this
Yeah, you
back a little bit. I appreciate the focus about him wanting to find his roots a little bit, kind of wanting to learn more about this person that he relates to. I think it's a very interesting story about kind of feeling, like an outcast when there's all these traditions and wanting to make your family happy and everything like that, and kind of a very real story because he's a kid and he doesn't know how to navigate that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to watch him kind of make this journey and figure that all out. And to kind of learn that along the way, the person he idolized so much isn't who he thought he was.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very, very interesting movie. I was very emotionally invested, and I always am emotionally invested when I watch this movie. Every time I watch it, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time. It's a really good movie.
It's really nice. It's really pretty. Did you ever watch Dinosaur?
No.
Really?
No.
I think that's even older than Chicken Little was.
I don't think that would be a very high bar. I think
This one was, I think,
2000.
exactly in 2000. Yeah.
Wild. That would make sense why I haven't.
Yeah, that would make sense why you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You were 0.
I was doing other things. I was busy.
You were on your way.
I was preparing.
So, I didn't like Dinosaur. Dang it! Oh, Viv! Why are you making me feel that? He said, I love dinosaurs so much, but everyone hates it. See, I don't... I
have your opinions.
I don't hate it. It's just not, like... I don't know. It's not, It doesn't really resonate. I feel like I'm overusing that word, but it's not like a big...
Fun fact, Dinosaur has the highest kill count in Disney.
That's true. You see what he said?
I did. Oh no. Oh no.
Aside from that fact, maybe I need to rewatch it again. I don't know. There was a lot of just regular death in Dinosaur. Like, I don't think that makes it a bad movie though. For sure. I don't really. I will say this. I love the ride.
I was about to say.
I love the ride.
It's a very interesting.
But the movie, I don't know. I feel like most of the people that go to the parks now don't even know that it's a movie.
I didn't know that it was.
Because it's just called Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Which is like a real world thing.
Yeah. For the longest time,
they look at it and they're like, oh, there's dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're an animal kingdom. There's dinosaurs everywhere. Sure, make a dinosaur ride.
Oh my god. I feel bad putting it in a low tier, which kind of implies that I don't like it, but I don't know. I'll leave it in... I'm gonna place it low, but just you guys know that I'm indifferent to it. So I'm gonna put it like... I don't know.
Man's
like,
really said blabber.
Like here.
I'm dead.
At least make it C or D. Yeah, I would not disgrace it and put it into the cars tier, which is all that it is for now. Leafy, thank you for the bits, dude. Finding Dory. What'd you think about Finding Dory?
I think Finding Dory was a cute movie. I've gotta say, it was very interesting to learn more about Dory's parents and where she came from and everything. I don't know that it was as exciting as Finding Nemo.
You like Finding Nemo more?
I think so. But like, if I was ranking them on this tier list, they would be pretty similar rankings. But like between those two, Finding Nemo would have to rank a little bit higher.
Okay.
But I think Finding Dory was maybe like a B or C tier.
B or C. Okay. So I'm gonna break it to you guys. First I'm gonna read what Viv said. Finding Dory was nowhere near as good as Finding Nemo, but it is definitely a good movie. Mid B. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that.
my thoughts on Finding Dory, and you probably already know this, but I don't really love Ellen. Like, at all.
You don't like Ellen DeGeneres?
I really don't. I you know, that aside, that would be a whole different conversation. I don't love Ellen.
I understand.
But I do think overall this movie actually ended up
overall. Okay, good.
I can't live in peace.
Peace is never an option.
I think overall I felt like it was a funnier movie. Like comically speaking. Yeah. Obviously there's some moments that are like really funny in Finding Nemo too, but I think Finding Dory was overall funnier, not as a result of Dory or anything, because she's very much like for the most part, a one-dimensional character. But I think all the other characters in the sea and in the exhibits and stuff that they go through in this movie are just way funnier. I don't know. Did something change? I wonder if there's like any different writers or something, but it just felt funnier. Don't like it more than Finding Nemo though.
Oh my god. What was the name of that? Gerald.
Gerald. That sea lion. Was he like a sea lion or a seal or something?
Something like that.
He's like on the rock and they're like, off, 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 off. Like that whole scene where like the octopus is like stealthily going through. And there's like also, I think there's like a stealth takedown of one of the employees too. Oh yeah, Viv said the bird named Becky.
Yes!
Oh my god, yeah, that movie was funny. It was super funny. I wouldn't say it's better than Finding Nemo though. We'll go ahead and rank both of them, I guess.
I think Finding Dory personally would be between it's a B tier movie. I haven't seen Treasure Planet, but I would put it above Treasure Planet.
You would put it above Treasure Planet.
Because I think it's a high B tier movie. So with that logic,
yeah,
I would say Finding Nemo is A tier.
I'd probably put it like here, then Finding Nemo is like here.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
What do you think about Finding Nemo? That's one of the ones you grew up on.
It is one of the movies I grew up on.
You guys made me ink.
Yeah, kind of wild time, you know?
Look at me, I'm gonna go touch the butt.
I absolutely adore that scene where they're like, if you put one fin on that boat, and he just goes. I was like, yo, Nemo out here, Nemo out here. He said, I don't care what you say, Dad. I'm gonna do what I want.
That whole movie is just Nemo stressing out Marlin.
Nemo be out here like, I'm gonna go touch that butt, Dad. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna go touch the butt.
Oh man, yeah, that movie was good. That movie was good. I don't really think there's much more that I could say about that, honestly. The story was good. I feel like the overarching story was sort of took a backseat, and it was almost like Marlin's journey more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because like you don't really see Nemo all that much, truth be told.
Nemo would just be out here.
Nemo's just vibing in the tank at the dentist.
Nemo is quite literally just going with the flow.
Oh, that movie also has one of my favorite end credit scenes where like they all roll off the highway and they're like in the bags in the water and they're like, yeah, woo!
Now what?
Now what?
True.
God, man. Oh, Viv also said the volcano ritual was hilarious.
Shark bait, ooh-ah.
Shark bait, ooh-ah.
Iconic.
Sean said, now what? And then put the little emoji. All right, DuckTales, never seen it.
Never seen it either.
Seen the show, haven't seen the movie.
Same.
So we'll put that there. Dumbo.
I think Dumbo is also a very cute movie. I feel like it's also one of the movies that I grew up with.
Really?
Yeah. Our mother loves this movie. She cries every time that scene comes on when I think Dumbo's holding Trunks with his mom because she's like in the little cage or whatever. Mm-hmm. She cries every time she watches that scene. Mm-hmm. It's a very sweet movie.
Do you remember it?
I was about to say, but with the same things that I've been saying with about like Aristocats and everything. They're sweet movies, they're cute movies, but I think in comparison to the other Disney movies, it's not as exciting. It's an entertaining movie to watch, but I'd also probably put it in B tier, like I put Aristocats.
Yeah.
So I'd probably put it between Aristocats and Alice in Wonderland, personally.
Crystal said when she cried at Coco, her mom laughed at her.
Oh! Oh my god!
So
Excuse me, I'm emoting. Can you let me be?
I think
Let me emote in peace.
I think the best part about Dumbo is Baby Mine. And there's like that one dream sequence where Dumbo gets drunk. You remember that? You don't remember Dumbo getting drunk?
I don't remember Dumbo getting drunk.
Dumbo and the mouse, they both find like alcohol and they drink it and they get drunk and they have like this really weird like dream thing. You don't remember that? Okay.
I don't.
Well, Dumbo gets drunk. Yeah, I think those two scenes are probably the biggest takeaways. Other than that, I don't really love it because a lot of the time they're just laughing at Dumbo and how big his ears are. And there's that one scene where they paint him with clown makeup or whatever, and then he like does really bad on stage, and then the whole crowd laughs at him. All the people laugh at him, and I think they throw peanuts at him or something. So it's not a very pleasant thing to watch. Pink Elephants on Parade. Yes, that's the name. Yes. I can't believe you need to go watch that. That's really funny. But I would probably put it in like Bambi, like right above Bambi.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
It's not quite as tragic as Bambi. I think it's a little bit more enjoyable just because that dream sequence is hilarious, and Baby Mine is also just really, really nice. But yeah, I think definitely C. Fantasia. Have you ever seen Fantasia? Really? Fantasia's a great movie to watch if you want to go to bed. I have first-hand experience with this because every single time, I can't remember if you were born yet, but every single time I would go as a child to my grandmother's house, she had this on VHS.
I don't doubt that.
And I would be on the floor in the living room in front of that big old TV she had, and I would just watch it for like 15 minutes, and I'd be asleep by the time that the elephants came out. Which is very early on in the movie, but I think as someone who's older now, if I was to watch it now, I'd have a whole new appreciation for it because it's built off of classical music. So it's classical music to the visuals of Disney animation. So a lot of the things that are happening on screen are a result of Sorcerer Mickey, like manipulating objects or just creating them to the music, which is really cool to watch. But I think it's also fair to say that classical music has this impact on people to where when they hear it, they feel very relaxed, and sometimes they just want to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think it's great though. You still see the impact this movie has with stuff around the parks too, like Fantasmic is another one, and I think for that reason I'll probably put it in like I feel like this one should get its own ranking though, because it's not technically a movie. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not like a Disney movie, you know. So I don't know. I feel like this could be in its own category, but I think I'll put it like here for now, because I don't know where else to put it. The Mother Nietzsche in Fantasia hits hard. Yeah, that movie's really like. Just the overall visuals and stuff is really, really nice. Finding Nemo is not S, I'm unfollowing. Actually, it's the highest one in A tier. What do you want from me, woman? If Treasure Planet isn't S tier, then you're not my dad anymore. What's up, Neraldo? No, you're not my dad! Treasure Planet is on here, Neraldo. And I put it in high B. I don't feel like it's as strong as some of the other movies that are above it, but I do really like that movie too. There's that one song that you probably know what I'm talking about that hits so hard. Oh man, I love it. Why is Cars 2 higher than Cars 3 then? I haven't seen Cars 3. I don't want to. Just consider these two a package deal, okay? These probably might end up being in the bottom,
I was
but
gonna say, it's very
we'll go through all the other ones first and then crown those. Waiting patiently for Lilo and Stitch, and that will determine our friendship. Uh-oh. Okay. Fox and the Hound?
I don't know, actually. I don't know where I would rank Fox and the Hound.
It's I think unlike Bambi, this movie is heartwarmingly sad, whereas Bambi is just tragically sad.
Yeah.
Because this tells the story of two best friends, right?
Yeah.
And they grow up, they grow apart, and then they meet up again, and like all those memories come rushing back to them, and they're starting to fight the things that they were taught over their lives, which is to oppose each other, when really they know deep down that they love each other.
Yeah.
So it's sad, but it's not like
I feel like it would have to be higher.
there's a like happy undertone to it. I don't know how else to put it.
I think it would have to be a higher ranking at least than Dumbo and Bambi.
Yeah, it has to be higher than Dumbo and Bambi for sure. I'll probably put it like here,
Yeah.
cause it's not. I would probably watch it over Cinderella, and I do think 101 Dalmatians is funny. Like it's not all sad. I don't know. Like there's a good way to do sad, and there's like, I don't know. So I feel like there's a line where if it's too sad, then I'm not gonna enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Kind of like Finding Nemo, how it starts off really sad, but then like it makes up for it. So I don't know. Well, if the Cars movie is C tier, then Cars the game is S+ tier. True. Ooh. Okay. Let's do the first one first.
All right.
Okay, first Frozen. Go ahead.
I really like the Frozen movies. I personally enjoyed Frozen 2 a little bit more than I enjoyed Frozen. I enjoyed both of them very much. I think that they absolutely need to be at least in A tier. Because I think it's a very cute story. I think it's very funny. I like Anna because she's a very real princess. In comparison to the other princesses, she wakes up with messy hair. She's very awkward around, meeting jerkface Hans. And
I forgot about his name. That was surprising you remember that.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting to watch her development. At least I was thinking about this the other day, about how when her and Hans sing "Love Is an Open Door," that to them, they're singing the same words, but what they're saying is very different. Because to her, love is an open door, because literally the castle doors have opened for the first time. So she's like, oh, well, because the doors opened, I have found love with this person. Meanwhile, for him, he's trying to rise up to power. So he's like, love is an open door, trying to be like, well, I have this open door to kind of take leadership and kind of be a king or whatever. So
yeah.
I think it's very interesting. I don't know if that was really far-fetched, but I was thinking about it the other day. And I thought it was interesting how she just so desperately wants connection because she has pretty much been lonely for all of her life with her sister, not really socializing with her or anything like that, going through her own struggles. I think it's a very interesting movie. I think it's a very cool movie. I think it's funny with Olaf. I think it's very funny with Sven. And I really like Kristoff and
My qualm
Anna's
with Frozen is that Anna falling in love with the first man she
and
meets
how
is
that
bad, but she
develops
falls for the
as
second
well.
man.
And I think in Frozen
Just
2,
A.
I like it a little bit more because we kind of get to see Elsa coming to her own. Because in the first movie, it's like, oh yeah, well, she finds her sister. That's obviously very important. But it's like, well, what about her specifically?
Fun fact, Frozen
her
2
finding
is
herself
basically
and where
just
she
Avatar The
belongs.
Last Airbender.
So I think they're very good movies.
Okay. Sorry, I was laughing at the text-to-speech messages they were putting. Okay, so thank you for the bits, by the way. So Frozen and Frozen 2, Marissa says Frozen is S tier, Frozen 2 is A tier. She said she's never watched the second one, but she feels like it's just Disney trying to make money. So
I think it's a good movie.
here's the thing. I think Frozen, like the whole universe of Frozen, is probably one of my favorite stories in all of Disney. It might just be because I love the whole winter theme and motif. I'm very into that, and then maybe that has something to do with it. But I think the characters in Frozen 2 feel a lot more fully realized, except for Kristoff. He gets a criminal underrepresentation in that movie.
Yeah.
But I think Frozen 2 is probably also my favorite of the two. And while Frozen 1 is more of a story about the it feels like it's almost a story about the relationship of Anna and Elsa. And Elsa coming to terms with the fact that they're sisters, and like whatever sort of trouble she's going through, her sister's going to be there, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Whereas Frozen 2 feels like more of a story of Elsa coming to terms with herself.
Yes.
And I think, while yes, there was probably some money motivation to it, I applaud the fact that it wasn't trying to tell the same story again, which I think is something that happens a lot with breakout hits like Frozen. So I think Frozen 2, for all of the different directions that it goes, obviously some things fall flat a little bit. I really wish Kristoff got more screen time. I feel like the whole, like, I know Marissa hasn't seen it, and I definitely suggest you do, Marissa, because I feel like you would really, really, really enjoy it.
It's such a good movie.
But I feel like the whole, like, Ata Holland, maybe not even the location, but just like the whole Gale thing
Yeah.
wasn't very fully, like, it didn't feel fully realized. It felt like it was just sort of in the background,
Yeah.
while Elsa was going to all the different waypoints, if you will. But I think on a basic level, the characters in Frozen 2 are better. The music in Frozen 2 is absolutely better, in my opinion. There's one song at the very end that I actually cried in the theater. It was so good. It was so good. And also, Olaf is less annoying. Like, in the first one, his humor is kind of like, it's too much, you know? Whereas his humor in this one is,
It's a little more
it's
relatable.
different. It's a different kind of humor. Whereas in the first one, it felt like it was more appealing to, like, 4-year-olds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, did you know the blah, blah, blah? I don't know how to describe it. But that, and then in this one, maybe it's just kind of my sense of humor, but his whole, like, mortality, like, realization with his own mortality was really
Yes.
funny.
I thought it was very funny.
So,
I wasn't expecting it, honestly. but I thought it was
and
very
to be frank, also, I think Frozen 2 is probably one of my favorite Disney movies.
funny. I would
so-
I'd have to agree.
For that, I would probably put it, like, here?
Mhm.
If it were my list, I would put it here for now. But
I would maybe have to agree with you on
this?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Just because
If you're cool with that, then we'll put that here too.
I think the important distinction to make, though, at least in my opinion, about Frozen and Frozen 2, is Frozen is primarily about the relationship between Anna and Elsa and how that develops and how they realize they have each other. But Frozen 2 builds on that relationship and says, how can we still have a good relationship with each other as we realize what each of us are destined to do, and realizing that it takes them in different directions. Because Elsa has all this power, obviously, that she was told not to mess with, conceal, don't feel kind of thing. Like, don't, you could get in trouble kind of thing. But I think it's a very interesting story to follow, how they are sisters and they love each other. And we just saw them come together and be like, I love you. You know, she saved Anna with the act of true love. But then seeing, like, how much do you trust me and love me to let me make this journey by myself, and maybe that Anna doesn't need to come with her on every journey,
Yeah.
I think is what makes it better, because I think it's a lot more realistic plot to be like, well, we're not always gonna be living in rooms right next to each other. We're not always going to be seeing each other every day, but we can still love each other and still have this strong relationship and develop a strong sense of self and still support each other and all that kind of stuff. I do agree that Kristoff definitely should have gotten more screen time, and it's such a shame.
He's written in that movie as just like the dumb guy.
But I will say this movie has one of my favorite lines probably in any Disney movie, where they finally reunite and she apologizes. She's like, I'm so sorry, I've been whatever. And he says, it's okay, my love isn't fragile. That he's like, it's interesting because he understands how much she loves her sister, and that this isn't an attack on him more than she's just so consumed with this other thing that, of course, he's bummed about it, and he's like, I want to propose to her, but she keeps running off and doing all these things. But that's not what breaks their relationship, because he understands that it's important to her and that his love for her will, you know, withstand any sort of thing that might take them apart, because he knows he's confident enough in their relationship to be like, I love you no matter what. And my love for you is not fragile enough to be destroyed by you caring about your sister.
Yeah. It's interesting to think that some characters would consider that a deal breaker. But now that I look at this list again, I feel like I would probably do this too.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing.
Coco, hands up, I cry every single time. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jammies and movies. Marissa, if you want to watch this movie, I'm down.
It's such a good movie. It's a really good movie.
Best Buy's been saying coming soon on the PS5 since 9 a.m. It was supposed to come out at 9 a.m. Well, we're almost at 12 hours, Woomy. I wish you the best of luck.
I think Frozen should...
Frozen's definitely like an A.
Yeah.
Like somewhere...
I feel like it's a high A,
right...
Bruh, it's...
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would watch it over Finding Nemo too. Oh!
Oh my
Oh, I love this movie, man.
God.
I love
Can't
this
wait to see
movie, dude. Oh, God. If anybody watching this here on Twitch or on YouTube has not seen a Goofy movie, please, oh my God, go watch this gem of a film.
Very funny.
Definitely S. Probably like, right. I don't know if I would put it in front of or below Aladdin, but if it were my list, I'd put it there. It's so good.
It's very funny.
If anything, for that final number. Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember?
Got myself in motion.
When Max kills someone?
Yeah, that movie has a kill count too. Guess I gotta watch it. Adrian, go watch this film. It's so funny and so good. And it's like, it's such a heartwarming story, you know? If, like for me, I see myself and my dad in this movie. Where my dad's like the goofy guy who kind of acts like, you know, with good intentions. And then there's me who like shocks his world from time to time where I'm like, no, this is not what I want to do. And then like, it's a movie about common ground and coming to an understanding between father and son. And I think it's really, really cool. And it's also just funny. Pete's in there too. It is on Disney Plus as well, and the music is just so good. Oh my God. There's a reason why they still bring it back from time to time in the parks. Did you know that? Like at some of the dance parties, they'll bring out Goofy and Max and Powerline and do like a Powerline concert. Hey, Powerline's cool!
They said time to kill Max again. Or not Max, time for Max to kill
Time to kill that random security guard.
Let's do it. Lacking some murder
Almost
here.
every Disney movie has a kill count, ... All right,
Ooh,
chill.
That's true, though.
All right, relax.
That's a fact.
Thank you so much for the bits, Sleepy. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, making more? Heck yeah. Get that bank. All right. I watch a little later. Pepe D. Yo, dude, you got to tell me how you like what you think about it, Adrian, for real. All right.
Hercules.
This one's an easy S. Easy.
It's really.
Oh
yeah.
my God. I've loved this movie ever since I was a kid. And Mom could probably attest to that, but wow. This one's really good too. Would you put it above Aladdin?
I'd put it between Beauty and the Beast, maybe.
Really? Okay.
That's
I
just my
personally
personal
like
opinion.
out of the Renaissance movies, I think this one's probably my favorite. But Hercules, music's fantastic. Humor is also just right up my alley. What was my hair out? There's just so many little funny one-liners in that whole entire film that just make me laugh every time. Somebody call Jesus. Oh, and Phil's hilarious. Man, I'm just looking at the cover. Ah, man. Hercules is so good, man. I don't think there's much to say than that.
That's true.
And like I love the Greek gods, like all the art style and stuff is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But what's his name? Alan Menken? The guy who does the singing?
The soundtracks and stuff.
I think.
I'm pretty sure that's his name.
I think.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty
man,
sure you're right.
he struck gold with this one, dude.
He did.
Oh my god. All right. I would say more, but I don't want to be here for like 2 hours. So anyway, next one, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Maybe like.
Meh.
Yeah. I don't have many opinions.
You want to know something though? Something that's really funny about this movie is, do you know the characters, like at all? Do you know the evil guy?
Yes.
Have you heard his song? So this was pointed out to me from someone that I knew years ago, and I can't unhear it. But there's one particular song that he sings, the evil guy, can't remember his name, where it's called, I think it's called Hellfire or something. And the whole song is him singing about how frustrated he is that he's attracted to the gypsy. And like the whole song is just him being like, oh, these feelings, they're like hellfire. Why do I feel this way? God, but that song is actually really good though. So it pops off. Lyrics are like the lyrical content's a little weird because it's especially coming from an old guy. He's way older than the gypsy is. But God, that song is hilarious. Anyway, I'm putting it in like, see, like right there, I guess. I don't know. This movie is so I don't know. But anyway, the Incredibles movies. So we have Incredibles and Incredibles 2.
I really like the Incredibles movies.
You grew up on those movies too.
I did, yes. I actually really like Incredibles 2. Just because I think this sequence with Jack is really funny, and because yeah, and I think Violet's plot point with that kid that she likes, Tony, when they're in the restaurant and she comes up to their table.
I like that it comes out her nose.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god. I think Incredibles.
Was that relatable?
No, I've never
sure?
shot water out of my nose
Does
like
Kim
that
want more
before.
children?
Isn't that so funny? I think I would rank both of them A tier for sure.
Both of them, really?
Yeah.
You don't feel like one's better than the other?
I don't know if it's a controversial opinion. I personally like the second one better.
That is kind of
I
controversial.
know it's very controversial. Just because I think it's really funny.
S tier for super suit alone.
Super suit. Honey, where's my super suit?
Just tell me what my suit is, woman!
But I think both of them are A tier.
Not to mention just Edna existing.
Fair.
She exists actually more in the second film
one
than she does in the first
She does,
one.
yes.
Um,
And it's her sequence with Jack that's also very entertaining.
God, I love that. Just tell me what my suit is, woman! I am the greatest
good you are ever gonna get.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would probably put these
I want
on
that
both.
like on a canvas or a sign to put in my future home. It's like, I am your wife. I am the greatest good you are ever gonna get. I want that like in really pretty lettering so that I can put it.
So you would put these in A,
future
you
home.
think?
Yeah.
Where?
Below
Below
I
Bugs
would.
Life? Above Finding Nemo?
I would put it below Frozen and above Finding Nemo, maybe. Yeah.
So both of them right there. Which you said 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
It's hard to rank some of these movies though.
I would personally put The Incredibles 1 over.
Over 2.
Yeah. It's just. I don't know why, actually. I'm not sure, but something about the first Incredibles I just like more. I'm not sure. Brain blast. I just have Amber's gift idea now. Papega. Oh,
Uh,
you're getting a Christmas gift.
but I'm not married, but when I am, I already know what I'm gonna put in that house.
Wait, is Marissa gonna make you that sign?
I don't know. I'd be down.
All right, Good Dinosaur. Did you ever see Good Dinosaur?
I did.
What'd you think?
It was a C tier movie, or maybe even D tier. It wasn't.
That's crazy that you say that, because that's exactly what chat's saying. They're saying like C and D.
Yeah, it's not great. I would maybe put it in D tier. Maybe
Next to his other dinosaur?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, well, I'd probably put it above Atlantis.
You ever seen it?
Atlantis?
No.
Oh, Good Dinosaur. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah, it's not.
It was alright.
It's not spectacular. I dislike it a little more though. Like, if I was looking at those surveys, you know, where it's like, it gives you a statement, then you say strongly agree, indifferent. I put it under like slightly dislike.
Okay.
So that's for me the criteria of this tier list.
That makes sense.
That I'm like, I slightly dislike it. Like, it's not a great movie, but it's not the worst movie ever.
Sean said one dinosaur movie had a lot more deaths than the other.
Oh my god.
Why are you so focused on kill count?
I'm dead.
All right, Inside Out.
All right. So.
You want to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
So, interesting thing about this movie, I actually had to write a paper about this movie for one of my classes.
When was that?
I wrote about it. I took a summer course, and it was about like mental health and how it's portrayed in movies, and kind of talking about how Riley in this movie goes through like depression when she moves. She makes this big change. She goes to this new school, and she feels really frustrated.
You might be thinking the same thing I'm thinking, but go on.
Yeah, I think it's, upon analyzing it for this class, I've started to appreciate the importance of kind of what it shows about mental health and talking about all these emotions that kind of go on in your head when you experience these things, especially when you're younger, because it can feel like you don't have as much control over things, and when you're yanked out of an environment that you're comfortable in, it can be really frustrating. And even the way that they demonstrated like her core memories and how they demonstrated like happy or joy, joy being like the prominent emotion, and how she was the one in charge, and how all of them had to be happy memories, and any sad memories, angry or whatever, they weren't really in charge. It was almost like they were trying to avoid it. Any memories that sadness touches, they're like, oh, don't touch it, don't do any of this thing. Like, most of the movie is about how Joy is primarily in charge of it, and how they don't really address sadness, and how they even kind of question her being there, because they're like, why would anybody want to feel sad? Like, you should just want to be happy all the time. So
congratulations, San
and then
Francisco,
like
you
realizing
ruined
the importance
pizza.
of
First the
at least
Hawaiians
sadness, at
and
least
now
as it
you.
was for Riley,
Inside
kind of
Out.
coming to the realization that like she didn't want to run away, she wanted to be with her family and everything like that. I think I appreciate what the movie does in terms of making it easier for children to watch, that they don't explicitly be like, I'm depressed, because that's a lot less digestible for the audience that it's aimed at. But I think it's interesting that even when she comes back, that they're not like furious at her for running away. They're more concerned for her being like wanting to realize what's happening. With in the beginning of the movie, them kind of being like, what's going on? And her just being frustrated and them not really understanding why.
Yeah. Man, you really did write a paper on that.
I did write a paper on it. I think it's a very important movie. Unfortunately, I don't think like it's a very... This is going to sound so weird. I don't think it's a very exciting movie. In the same thing with Brave, that it's like that message is important and it does need to be talked about, and I appreciate the way they went about it, but the movie itself, maybe the storyline, I guess, could have been better. I don't know.
You know, so, sorry, I was kind of laughing a little bit because Leafy put one of the quotes from the movie. It says, "Congratulations, San Francisco. You ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians and now you."
Yeah. I'm dead.
God dang Hawaiians. All right. So yeah, that's kind of exactly what I was thinking. Is I like the way that this movie sort of recognizes that every emotion that we're all capable of feeling is important, and it's even in moments of sadness, it's important to recognize it and reflect on it and feel it, you know, rather than bottling up any sort of one of these, even anger, you know.
Yeah.
All of them are equally as important as each other. And while it's easy to say that, you know, it's you should just be happy all the time, it's a very I think it's a very irresponsible way of living your day-to-day life, because it does a lot more for, I think, your development as a person, to be able to have that sort of ability to say, like, I'm feeling sad, and that's okay. So I think the message is good, and I think, kind of like what you were saying, what would have made this movie a little bit more interesting is maybe seeing more of the exterior a little bit, and how the emotions that are conflicting inside of Riley impact her actually, you know? Because I think a lot of the movie takes place inside her mind rather than outside of it.
Yeah, I mean, we see a little bit of, like, when Anger takes the reins and he's like, oh, like, we're going full force when they're all at the dinner table, and that's when she, like, screams and pounds her fist on the table and runs away and, like, storms off and stuff. And it's interesting because, like, I've seen articles where, like, psychologists review this movie and they kind of talk about, like, how important it is. And they kind of review the movie and its portrayal of mental health and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not depression specifically, but just generally when you have these feelings that you feel like you're not allowed to express, especially as a child, and especially when it comes to your parents putting you in a different position where you're like, okay, well, what good is it going to do me to be angry about this? What good is it going to do me to be sad about this? I'm not allowed to feel this way because nothing's going to change, and it's just going to create more conflict. So I think it was an interesting way to at least explain how not properly expressing any of these emotions affects you and can shut you down when you don't know how to express or cope with these kinds of things.
Yeah. Baby Dren says the depression wasn't really shown a lot, in my opinion. Sean says Inside Out of all movies also has a kill count. It's a low kill count, but a kill count nonetheless. Smile. He also says the movie has an in-depth message, but the way it was presented is not the best. It's good, but not Grammy-worthy. Cough, cough. So, did it win a Grammy?
No, I don't.
Or no,
so.
Grammys is music.
Grammys is music.
Grammys is music. I think. Do you mean Oscar? Golden Globe? I don't know. I would probably put Inside Out though at like a B or an A.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
But I feel like the important part is to understand that this movie was like made for children. So I think the goal is to make it easier for children to process and be like, okay, I understand. Because if it was a little more serious, I think it would have been harder for the comprehension level of the audience that it was trying.
I guess, yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it was always in her head, so it made her feel all the emotions are just in your head and not actually a thing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were trying to make her a little bit more of a blank slate too.
I think at least where in the articles where they talk about the depression shows, when they talk about like her core memories and all her little islands with everything start to shut down.
Yeah.
That they're like her memories and the things that make her a person started to disintegrate because of her not being able to properly express her emotions. I think that was the argument that I heard. I don't know how much I agree.
This seems like an interesting movie to look for like discussions on.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I'll probably put it like here, somewhere, like above or below Bug's Life. You think?
Sure. Yeah. I would say maybe.
Probably put it above. Yeah, like right there. Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
Eh.
I'm not one of my favorites.
It's okay. Bare Necessities is cool.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Probably say like a C tier.
Yeah, I would probably put it like here, next to Hunchback, but not bigger than Brave, because I'd probably watch Brave over that. Lady and the Tramp?
Oh, Lady and the Tramp.
As a movie.
As a movie. I think it's cute.
Yeah?
I think it's a cute movie. It's a very enjoyable movie. Iconic with spaghetti eating. Spaghetti eating. I'd maybe put it maybe like low B tier.
Low B.
Yeah.
Like right here?
Sure. Yeah. That looks good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like Lady and the Tramp. It's okay. It kind of falls into the same
It's okay.
like it shares some of the same weaknesses I had with some of the older Disney movies that we ranked earlier, like Bambi and where's the other one? 101 Dalmatians, where it's kind of slow at some points. Actually, a lot of points. And also I don't really like either of the dogs, but that scene is cute.
Dog.
And also that song is good. Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch.
Was this movie in theaters?
Yes.
Fun fact, this is the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
Don't you be thinking I left, Crystal. Oh boy. Lilo and Stitch, what do you think?
I really like this movie. I think it's a very cute movie.
I think it's definitely one of the better ones,
I think
for
it is
sure.
too.
At the very least, it should be an A.
I think it
At the very least.
I think it should be an A tier, yeah.
I do like this movie though, and it also has some of the same like pieces of humor that I liked about Goofy Movie and Hercules. It's just my kind of comedy. And the music is good too. Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. Oh man, that one's a bop.
It is a bop.
Dude. Oh
It's
my
so
god.
bop.
I could listen to that over and over and still be happy. I also liked the fact that the villains, the ones that are chasing Stitch the whole movie, do end up developing over the course of the film, and they end up
Yeah.
becoming his friend rather than his foe.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really cool thing about it too. I really like Nani. She is a wonderful role model to Lilo, and for as much as she could easily say that, because I feel like a character like hers could so easily fall under the pressures of being a single quote-unquote parent, even though she's her sister. And I was kind of half expecting her to just be mean the whole movie.
Yeah.
But there are also some points in that movie where she has a little bit of a, what do you say, like self-reflection with Lilo.
Yeah.
Saying like, it's hard
Yeah. It's really
being
hard.
just the two of us, and I don't remember exactly what she says, but there's scenes like that in this movie too. And she's also just a baddie, so like
She's a
what
baddie.
can you do? But Lilo and Stitch is a really, really solid movie. I would probably put it like here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like up in the S tier. Actual character development, never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Dude, okay. Lilo and Stitch, that was pretty up there. S, easy. Also, not Nani's boyfriend, I forgot his name, is good too. True.
Is his name David?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. It's gonna bother me until I find out though.
But, oh, Crystal, I'm so glad you mentioned that. She said my favorite scene is when Lilo throws punches. My mom doesn't too often send me memes, but she sent me a meme of that scene, and the caption was just Hawaiian Punch, and that,
It's very funny.
coming from my mom, just made that so funny. Anyway, Lion King, easy S, right?
Yeah.
Easy S. Where would you put it? Like here?
Maybe below Lilo and Stitch.
Ooh, below Lilo and Stitch.
Uh huh.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say so. I like Lilo and Stitch a little more than I like Lion King.
Okay. Yeah. Instant classic. I don't know what else there is to say.
Yep.
That's just good. It's a good movie. Music's
It's
awesome.
good.
Music's awesome.
Sick.
Characters are great. Love Scar. It's one of my favorite villains. So cool. And Timon and Pumbaa are obviously big takeaways. I don't feel like there's much discussion about some of those classics, man. They're just good. Little Mermaid.
It's okay. I'd probably put it in the
Okay, but you'd probably put it in B?
Yeah, I'd probably put it above Lady and the Tramp, maybe.
So you would put it here.
Yeah.
It's
cute and enjoyable, but like.
But you like 101 Dalmatians more? Alice in Wonderland?
Ooh, that's true. I don't.
So you put it maybe here?
Yeah.
High B.
High B.
High B.
High B.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree. She's obviously like one of the most popular princesses out there. But I don't know. I don't know if I particularly love it all that much. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. So I guess we'll just leave it there. Winnie the... I don't remember which movie this is.
I don't remember which movie this is either. But
Winnie the Pooh.
B tier. Any Winnie the Pooh movie.
Any Winnie the Pooh movie is
At
B
least,
tier.
At least. They're cute movies.
I mean, I've probably seen it. I just don't remember it, but I think, yeah, probably somewhere in B. Like, right there.
Yeah.
Actually, right there.
Yeah.
Above Aristocats. Meet the Robinsons. I've seen it. Don't love it.
Same.
Very
controversial.
Probably put it in D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Let me.
I think it's good. I like that movie. I like Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
How could you not love Bowler Hat Guy? Bowler Hat Guy's got a charming story and everything, but I don't know. I don't love Meet the Robinsons.
I think maybe Monsters Inc. would be like. I think Monsters Inc. would be maybe like a B tier also.
B tier also for Monsters Inc. Wow.
Yeah. It's a good movie, but it's not like. I don't know.
I'd probably put it at the highest in B.
Okay.
Like above Finding Dory. I'd watch it over Finding Dory for sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think it's funny, and I love all the memes. Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! Oh man. And also Boo's adorable. Boo's super cute. So I think B, like highest in B, for sure. Monsters Inc. was great, but there's like definitely better. Yeah, for sure. Moana. We're going fast, I feel like. These are going fast all of a sudden. Moana.
I think Moana has some cute songs. So, I obviously, You're Welcome, very cute. How Far I'll Go, cute. Shiny, hilarious.
Oh, I like that guy. What's his name?
The main guy?
No, the
snail?
the shiny guy.
I don't remember what his name is in the movie.
Me neither.
I just remember he's the.
That song is good.
Oh. I hated that. I actually despise that. I'm gonna say. I don't think it goes above a B tier.
You don't think it comes above a B tier?
I think that it's a cute movie. I appreciate the songs. I appreciate the story. But in comparison to the other movies that we put in A tier and S tier, I don't think it's on that level. What do you think?
I like it more than Finding Dory.
Do you?
I would put it above Finding Dory.
Do you like it more than Monsters Inc?
No.
You'd probably put it between Finding Dory and Monsters Inc.
Yeah, I'd put it like right here. Simply because the visuals are amazing. I'm a sucker for animated water. Like just looking at high quality animated water. Oh yeah, it really does it for me. Oh yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I forgot he like does that movie. Yeah, she said she has to disagree with your sister. Lin-Manuel killed it.
I think the music is great. I don't have any critiques about the music. I just think the story, like, it's cute, but it's not as compelling as the movies that we put in A and S tier.
I guess, yeah.
I
don't know.
hate the movie. I actually really like it, but again, like the other movies, most of the other movies we put in A tier and S tier, I would say like I love this movie.
I think I put it here just because I feel like it's a cozy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could have it on right now and be in bed and just feel like really cozy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Its coziness, I think, carries it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
She said, "Nah, I get you." Okay, cool. Monsters University.
I didn't like it very much actually.
It flopped for you, you think?
I feel like it was a bit floppy.
Okay, bit floppy.
Bit of a flop.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
Bit of a flop.
I'd probably put it like here, actually, here.
Maybe, yeah.
I didn't love it.
Bit of a
I probably wouldn't actually want to watch it again, but I watched it and I thought it was okay.
It was alright.
I feel like it was a little bit trying to recapture the magic of Monsters Inc. I don't know. It was okay. I also don't really like College Life either, so.
I'm dead.
Great Mouse Detective. You haven't seen that. You haven't seen that. Great Mouse Detective. I've seen it. Didn't really resonate with me, and honestly, I can't really remember too much of it, so I'll put it here just to kind of avoid misjudging it. Mulan.
Mulan is like,
Woo!
we gotta
Mulan!
put that movie at the very least in A tier. It's an A tier.
Yeah,
or S tier
absolutely,
movie.
absolutely, somewhere in here for sure. What do you think?
I
I love the music. Mushu's hilarious.
yeah, I think it's S tier then.
I love the cultural depictions as well.
Yeah.
It's not really too often you get a story about China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I also love her character too. She's very independent,
Mm-hmm.
very fight the patriarchy.
I appreciate it.
I know
I
you do.
stand,
I know you do.
Incredibles where it's supposed to be.
But yeah, I think I would
Treasure
probably put
Planet
it.
in a respectable spot.
Itachi, what's up,
Taikuti.
dude? He says Incredibles is where it's supposed to be. Treasure Planet in a respectable spot. Thank you, cutie. Yeah, I know he loves Treasure Planet, so and I do too. I think it's a pretty solid movie. Anyway, back to Mulan. Itachi, welcome to the stream. Back to Mulan. I think it's good. I'd probably put it above Incredibles.
I would too.
Not better than Frozen in my opinion, but I definitely would watch it again
Yeah.
for sure.
It's a really
Easily
good-
replayable.
It's a very good movie.
The fact that they use culture from China correctly makes me happy. Yeah, it seems.
good,
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not an expert or anything, but
Right.
it seems pretty authentic. It doesn't really seem like it's playing into any stereotypes or anything. It felt like I was watching something true to life.
It has
is
a
what I
very
felt
high
like.
kill count.
Can you stop with the kill count, Sean? Why do you know this?
Very funny. I love that.
Okay. So, I said we were gonna do this at the end, but I feel like I kind of have to put Emperor's New Groove at the best. It's my favorite Disney movie.
Is it the best Disney movie though?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm gonna put it here for now. I'm gonna let you tell me what you're thinking.
I really like Emperor's New Groove. I think it's a very funny story. Again, another movie that I grew up with. So, I just don't. I mean, it would certainly deserve a place in A tier or S tier for sure.
S tier at the very bottom.
At the very bottom.
Dude, can you not like quote that movie line for line?
I mean,
Isma, put your hands in the air.
it's a very,
Woo!
it's a
Woo!
very quotable, it's a very quotable movie. I'm dead.
Like the lever scene is iconic.
Pull the lever, Croc.
Wrong lever! Why do you even have that lever?
I know, right?
And we're like, oh, there's that one part towards the end where she has the potion under her skirt, and then she's like, and I'll tell you what, I have this, and they're like, oh God, oh, aha! And then they see the vial, and they're like, oh, okay, we're good.
This is so funny.
And then like she turns all of her henchmen into animals.
Mhm.
I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
I'm dead. It's a very good movie. I'm not gonna argue with you on the fact that it's a very good movie.
Adrian says, oh yeah, it's all good.
We'll have to see at the very end
Oh
if it's
my
like
God.
the best.
I'm gonna leave it here for now, but that's my
Okay.
personal favorite.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. I could watch that movie. I could watch that movie like 10 times and still laugh every single time. He's like, all right, Krunk, on the count of 3, we're gonna break the door down. You kidding me? This is hand carved mahogany.
Yeah.
I'm laughing. I'm not even watching the movie.
Oh my God.
Ooh, Itachi said you should each put a movie there to show your favorites. That's a good idea.
That was good.
All right, that's my pick. That was easy. All right, Oliver and Company.
Oliver and Company.
Why should I worry? Why should I care?
Honestly, I don't remember it too much to have it.
Yeah, it's okay.
They're all at.
That song pops off though, for sure. What's up, Powerful? How you doing, man? Good to see you. I'd probably put it like here. No, here.
Okay.
No.
Huh?
Wait. Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
Indy, how's it going, Indy? Oh man, I'm so glad you are here to give us your opinion on these Disney movie rankings. We are a pretty good amount of the way through, I think. We only have a few left, but what do you think so far? It's been a minute, but I'm here. It's good to see you, man. How you doing? Where's Goofy movie? Absolutely in S tier. That movie is godlike for sure. Aries, what's up, dude? Let me see top tier. Yeah, there's you go. There's your rankings right there. Very, very good stuff all at the top there. Goofy movie, Aladdin, Hercules, Coco, but we're not done yet, so these might change. I don't think that a lot of these will, but they might. Anyway, Onward.
Onward, I think, was a really cute movie. I really liked it.
That was all right.
You didn't like it?
So, I didn't not like it, but it was okay. I didn't really feel like there was any danger.
Well, I mean, the whole point.
I didn't feel like there was any stakes, you know?
Well,
One
the
thing,
stakes-
I did like the lady at the bar, or no, not the bar, the restaurant, that had the, like, she was like that lion. She was funny.
I like the story, though, about them trying to, like, reanimate the father and everything. And, like, that was the stakes for me, that they only had.
Yeah. Thank you for the resub, Aries. 11 months, dude. You're crazy, man. He said, bro, Aladdin not in best. I want my sub back. Yo, listen. Itachi hit us with a really, really big brain idea. So I put my favorite Disney movie already up here because I already know Emperor's New Groove is my favorite. But Amber's going to put one of her own up here too. So maybe she'll put Aladdin up there. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, shout outs to you, Aries. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the emotes.
I guess to compromise, we'd have to put it in. I think it's very cute.
I do like the magic aspect of it though.
Mm-hmm.
I think the setting is actually really unique for a Disney movie, that is. I don't feel like there's another movie on this list that kind of takes place in a similar setting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of them take place in reality
Mhm.
for the most part, which is weird to say about Disney movies, but I feel like most of the time they do. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I put it like blah, blah, blah.
Maybe above Moana.
You think above Moana?
Yeah, I think it's a really good.
Okay. I wouldn't put it above Monsters Inc. though. Peter Pan. Don't like this movie.
Say C.
I think it's aged so bad.
I think it's a.
I think it's like a C or a D, solely because of the subject matter. The way that certain things are depicted in this movie is a little questionable nowadays, so I'll probably put it like here. I watch it definitely over Hunchback, but probably wouldn't really be like, I wouldn't go out of my way.
Open
or
up your
anything.
eyes, take a look at me. Get the picture fixed in your memory. I'm driven by
Oh,
the
man.
rhythm like the beat of a heart.
And Tachi's out here putting
And
the
I won't
lyrics to
stop until I
Powerline,
start
man.
to stand out.
God, I love that movie. I want to watch Goofy movie. I want to watch Emperor's New Groove again, man. Atlantis D. Here's the thing, Aries. Here's my justification earlier. Just really quickly. Atlantis and Treasure Planet, I usually think of in the same vein. So like when I think of one, the other one usually comes to mind. And I definitely like Treasure Planet more than I do Atlantis. And Atlantis, I don't even think has any music in it either. So it doesn't really have that to carry it either. So that's why I put it in D. I'll probably put it above Good Dinosaur now though. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah. You just got done watching that movie, Indy? Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to watch it again. Adrian, you need to watch that movie, man. If you haven't seen Goofy Movie, you gotta tell us what you think. Pinocchio. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's so okay.
Maybe.
It's an iconic film, but it's like,
Not super.
it's I don't. It's
Maybe
not a
like-
very interesting story.
Maybe like.
Yeah, I probably like here, like below Peter Pan. I
Mhm.
think. I don't know. Are those controversial opinions? I think probably not, right? I don't think so.
They're just mine.
There's no way someone out there stands Pinocchio. Like, I don't think of anybody saying legitimately my favorite Disney movie is Pinocchio.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
I searched
I've
some
never heard
things
anybody say
up and
that.
here are 3 of the highest kill
Um,
counts. Number 3 is Hercules with 20,000 death. Number 2 Atlantis, The Lost Empire with 35,185 deaths. And
What?
number 3 is Dinosaur with 307,100.
He said Hercules has 20,000 deaths.
20,000.
How? Sean, I'm gonna need your reasoning. I'm gonna need you to show your work. Pocahontas.
It's been a while since I've seen Pocahontas. I remember enjoying it.
I think it's good. I think it definitely holds up
Mm-hmm.
for sure. It's. I wouldn't put it as strong as Mulan, but I think it's definitely like A or B.
Yeah.
The music's good. There's probably something to be said about
Where is Sean's works cited page?
there's probably something to be said about the whole invasion of the indigenous people thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's really the focus of the film. I mean, obviously, what's his name?
John Smith.
John Smith. He's like part of that,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe I haven't heard a good argument against it, but
Mhm.
I feel like it's presented accurately. And while I obviously don't condone it, I think the focus is more on Pocahontas's, like, what even is the story about, actually? Now that I think about it. Is it about her and John Smith? No, it's about, like, her convincing John Smith, right, that invading their land is wrong.
Think so.
And then in the process, he changes a little bit, and because he changes, she develops feelings for him. Is that right?
Oh, again, it's been a really long time.
It's been a really long time since I've seen Pocahontas. I think that is. I think that's the story there. Aries said, "Yeah, basically." Okay. Then yeah, I don't really feel like I have too much of a qualm with this movie. The music's good.
Mhm.
I think the visuals are really pretty too.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't put it like up against Mulan or anything. So I'd probably put it like here,
Sure. Yeah.
like a little bit above Chicken Little.
Uh-huh.
Francis said Pocahontas F tier. Jesus.
Oh my.
Oh, he said that's the Spark Notes, lol. He looked it up for
That's
us.
the Spark Notes we stand.
Oh man. Yeah, I put it like B A somewhere in there.
Mm.
Bro, Mulan beats Frozen. Nah, fam. Nah, fam. Well, maybe the first one. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. This is an actively changing list too, so we'll see. Pocahontas is weird. Pocahontas no good. Bruh! What's everyone's thing with Pocahontas? Wait, what are you gonna put as the worst of all time? Yeah. Well,
It's-
personally, I think it's probably gonna end up being one of the Cars movies. Pocahontas rubs me the wrong way. Always has. Romanticizes colonialism. Lamau. I don't know. do you think?
I mean,
I could see that too.
I'm just going based off of
I mean, maybe this is worth a second look because I kind of just put it here based off of my hazy memory of when I first saw it. I guess I could see the whole romanticizing colonialism thing, but I don't know that it's entirely unrealistic either to say that she could fall in love with someone on the other side of the fence, if you will. And from what I remember, he does change. It's just weird because they actually based it on real people. Oh, that is true. But then again, isn't what is it? There was one movie on here I was thinking that about earlier. I can't remember. I can't remember. That's why it's odd. It's not like the worst ever, but odd. I will say that the subject matter is a little weird. I get, like somebody said earlier, that it rubs them the wrong way. I kind of get that. You know? I don't remember anything about Pocahontas, not gonna lie. I don't really remember it too much either. It's a really pretty movie, though.
Yeah.
The songs are great. But do I love it more than Chicken Little? That's a weird sentence to say out loud.
Yeah, right.
You know? Oh, I'll probably move it here, actually. Maybe I jumped the gun on that one a little bit. I'll probably put it here. I like it a little bit more than Jungle Book. But probably not more than Brave. Yeah. I feel better about that one. I don't know what I feel about the subject matter, honestly. I don't remember a whole lot of the details about the movie. Yeah. Yeah, I think kind of like what Marissa's saying too. It's just weird. You know that now you say it kind of rubs me the wrong way. But who knows? Maybe you'd have to rewatch it or something. I don't know. Metal Mecha says, "Why is Cars 2 an F tier? What is wrong with you?" Itachi said, "You're right. It should be lower." True. Oh man, Cars 2 was fire. They had guns. They were strapped. Wait, actually, what? You know, I will say the thing I like about Cars 2 is there's a certain Weezer song in there that's actually really good. It's a cover of a Cars song, actually, which is funny. Have you ever heard of the band The Cars?
No.
Just What I Needed. Ah, yes, you're just what I needed. You've never heard that song?
It's just not coming to my memory right now.
Okay, well, Weezer did a cover of one of their songs, and I like that. They put it in the soundtrack. Anywho, let's see. Where is Endgame? Kobe, into the trash. Princess and the Frog.
A tier.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
I
man.
really like it.
I've seen it once, and I wasn't really, like, watching it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I do like the setting. But you want to know something? Something I don't like about this movie, that I don't have to see it to have a complaint about it, is I know for a fact that Princess Tiana, for the most part, is a frog during that movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
She's
It's
like,
not great.
she's one of the first princesses breaking so many, like, you know, boundaries for her in, like, the group that she represents, just to be a frog for, like, the most of it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of lame. So, the music's good, though. Almost there. Oh, man. I love the setting, too. And, I need to watch this again. Princess and the Frog was a flop. Resident Sleeper.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Wow. Marissa's having all the controversial opinions. Yeah, Sean says she's the first black princess, but most of the movie she was a frog, so... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I'd be kind of upset.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again, though, for sure. Where would you put it? You said A?
I guess we could do.
You said B?
Yeah.
Where in B?
At least above Alice.
Right
At
here?
least above.
Here?
Yeah, probably. I just
Oh.
think it's a very fun movie to
Aries says D. She's too nice. At least she's a badass only works for herself gal in the end, not some pampered princess. Kind of true. Well, there's not really a love interest for her, is there?
She does have a love interest, but like she is very independent, and he's the one that's like dependent on that kind of stuff. So he's not rescuing her. She's like
She's kind of rescuing him in a way, maybe?
kind of,
Huh.
but basically she doesn't really like need a love interest or anything like that, because her whole point is like she's worked for everything she's had. She believes in hard work and being independent.
Crystal said Naveen.
Naveen, yes.
Naveen. Below Treasure Planet. That's where Itachi stands, Treasure Planet, I swear. The Wreck-It Ralph movies.
I really liked the second.
You liked the second one?
I did. I was entertained by it. But
Amber says she likes the second one. You like it more than the first one?
I do.
Oh.
I think it was funny
Okay.
talking about like Snapchat, Facebook, and everything.
So, I like both of them, but the problem I have with Wreck-It Ralph is the humor is funny now, but I feel like in maybe 5-10 years time, it'll probably be really dated. Because a lot of these jokes are of the time, you know? And I guess you could say that about other movies too, but as a result, I think the movies that do that kind of thing, the humor changes a little bit. Whereas now, it's like, it's funny because it's like relatable, but in a few years, it'll be funny because it's old. You know? I don't know. And I also didn't really like the story of this one either. It almost felt like Ralph didn't really have any sort of development as a character.
His development, I think, was mainly in the first movie because he didn't want to be a villain or he didn't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah, he wanted to change because he didn't want to be seen as the bad guy.
And then the second movie was him having to get over
His anger or something.
his insecurity of like his friendship with Penelope.
Which kind of rubs me the wrong way too.
Why?
Well, because he's like older. He's an old dude.
Well, they're like characters. Right?
Yeah, it's
So.
but to them it's real, right? Because they're both digital. I
mean,
don't know.
His whole thing is like.
I found it kind of creepy that he was so fixated on being best friends with this little girl. Which I guess I get it because he's childlike too, but that doesn't make it not weird. I don't know. I thought that was strange. I guess I was willing to overlook it to a certain extent, but towards the end, he gets like really possessive.
But that's the thing is like he's possessive over their friendship because he doesn't have any other friendship like the one he has with her. But like he feels threatened by her finding her own thing and doing things that he doesn't personally want her to do. So he like sabotages a lot of her opportunities.
Yeah, he's it almost feels like a regression from what he was before. Because like in the other one, in like the movie prior, he was able to look at himself and say like, wow, these are the qualities about me that makes me a bad guy. I should change those.
Well, I don't think he really had friendships or anything before to define that. So it was mainly self-reflection. So that when he finally got a friend, somebody who he wanted and enjoyed having, he didn't want to lose that. And he felt like her going off and being in that other game, he was going to lose that.
The Ralph Penelope should have been more of a dad-daughter relationship, I think. Might have made more sense. Yeah. The way they presented it is like they're best friends.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is
and they
weird.
still could have had that whole possessive narrative, and it wouldn't have been as weird if it was a whole father.
I think that's kind of my expectation when I was going into the movie. Is I felt like it was going to be more him protecting her from like danger, when it ended up being more him keeping her from joys.
Well, to him, they were dangerous.
To him, they were dangerous to himself.
Well, she was invested in that car game, that game where there was a lot of like violence and stuff. So he felt like he was keeping her from danger, whereas she wanted to kind of do something a little more. But but
I don't know.
I liked the second movie
Okay, but Sonic was in the first movie as tier. Oh,
my
yeah, that's
God.
right. So was Bowser. I forgot about that. Wow. Animation of the video games, especially Fix-It Felix, was super weird. I actually think that was pretty charming. I think the thing that made it weird for me, the Ralph breaks the internet, is just the relationship between the two of them, which was obviously a big focal point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put Wreck-It Ralph in like here. What do you think? Yeah, here.
And then, Ralph breaks the
Actually, here, because it's video game related too. And then I'll put this one like there. They're definitely not the same ranking, I don't think.
I don't think so either, but I feel like the second one.
Well, Amber respectfully disagrees. So,
Ratatouille.
that's my boy, Ratatouille. What do you think? Thoughts?
I think I enjoy it more for the meme, honestly. I
The
think
meme?
it's because like everybody talks about Ratatouille and the meme.
Wait, hold on. You keep talking. I'm gonna find an image for us.
I love that. I love that picture.
Oh my god. And
Very funny.
Just, please,
Please.
please. That way. Just the image. Oh yeah. I'm gonna leave this on screen. You can keep talking.
I think it's an entertaining movie. I think it's cute. I don't think it's like groundbreaking. You know?
That movie makes me hungry.
It makes me hungry too.
Oh
It makes
my
me
God.
when I first watched that movie and they were making Ratatouille, I thought they were putting like a bunch of different colored pepperonis in that little like thing. Because they look like pepperonis, but I think
Yeah, they
it's
do.
like peppers or something.
It's a bunch of it's an assortment of vegetables.
Yeah. But when I was younger and watching it, I thought it was just a bunch of different pepperonis.
You thought there was like green and yellow pepperoni.
I didn't know.
Okay, so here's my thing with Ratatouille is that it's good. I like it. It's probably one of the better modern Disney movies in my opinion. I consider it modern because it's not quite as old as some of these other ones like Mulan and Aladdin, but I think it's one of the better ones. I like the setting. The setting's awesome. I love the depiction that they gave it, and it's also about food, which is another one of my passions. I love food. So I love this movie, and also that image alone is just great.
Very funny. Very funny.
And I also think you know who I didn't like though is I didn't really like Linguini.
Yeah,
He's too like
he's okay.
he's too how do you say like he's not assertive. What's the word for that? I don't know.
He's like,
Yeah, he's very
he's
he's
a-
very
he's very much
submissive.
a
Like does
pushover.
what he's told, kind of thing.
he doesn't really have an opinion.
I don't know. He's a blank slate, kind of.
He's just there.
I mean, obviously he develops over the film, but he's too much of a blank slate for me to feel like he's one of my favorite characters. I do like Remy though. He's funny. But that's about it. His family's kind of toxic. His family's kind of trash, to be honest.
Yeah.
They didn't support him or his ideas at all, and like they rejected him up till the very last minute,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of lame. So I'll put Ratatouille in like B. I like it more than Monsters. I think. I like it more than Monsters. Well, actually, I'll put it here, low A. Rescuers.
I have to go to the bathroom, and I haven't seen these next 4 movies, so I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give my thoughts on these real quick. Alec, if you don't get Aries Sushi right now, when are we going? You're uninvited to Disney World when Ratatouille opens. You better not get anywhere near that pavilion, dude. Listen, I'm down for actually eating Ratatouille because I'm super like interested to know how that tastes. I can't imagine it. Okay, so these next 4, Rescuers, haven't seen this one, Down Under. I'm gonna put this down here as well, where the Great Mouse Detective is, because I've seen it, but I don't remember enough about it to have really an opinion. So for the sake of not misjudging it, I'm going to put it down here. Robin Hood, I will put in like C, like a little bit above Bambi. It's okay. All right. Dude, Aries, let's go, man. Please, dude, please. When are we going to your house? Oh, tomorrow. Sword in the Stone.
Fun fact, rats physically can't gag, so Linguini's cooking was so bad that it broke science.
Oh my god. That's hilarious, Sean. Wait, actually, I'm down. So, Sword in the Stone, same thing. I'm gonna put it down here. Where the Rescuers, both Rescuers movies are, Great Mouse Detective. And from what I remember, I don't really, love this movie either. But, again, for the sake of not misjudging it, I'm gonna put it down here as well. Ooh, excuse me. Tell Alec to create a group text. All right, listen here, dude. You better not bait me like you do all the time with me in Overwatch. All right, Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty?
Just in time.
You like
C.
It's not super exciting.
You watched that movie all the time when you were younger. Like on repeat.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't feel that same way now.
Oh, okay. Wow, are you saying you changed? That's weird. People can change. That's so odd. People be changing, I guess. All right. Let's go ahead and I guess I'll put it above Cinderella.
Yeah.
I'll put in B. B. Snow White?
Maybe. I don't think it's a particularly exciting.
Yeah.
It's cute, but
These last few are pretty quick, so I'll probably put this one. Oh wait, I forgot. I wanted to put this there. Snow White. I'll put it above Cinderella, I guess.
Tangled is like one of my favorites.
Tangled is my jam, dude.
I
love Tangled.
I love it.
Tangled is so good. If it weren't for Frozen, that would probably take its spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Tangled.
I think Tangled should be
Like
S
S,
tier.
probably, right?
Yeah, I think.
Where would you put it? Above or below Coco?
Below Coco. For sure.
Okay.
So,
I think that's good.
I think that. Yeah, I think.
That's a good one. I just love the music in that film.
I do too.
The music is so good, and Flynn is hilarious.
As well as the scenes with the lanterns, and I think it's just very pretty.
Mm-hmm. I love that, also that Flynn is, like, not really,
He's not like a prince.
he's not like a prince, and he's also not, like, macho either.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, like, he fits into the category of basically her best friend, which is what you want in
Yeah.
somebody that you are eventually going to have a romantic interest in.
Yeah.
So they kind of play like more almost like friends for the most part. Really
Yeah.
pally
like
friends, obviously up until the
partners in
lantern
crime.
scene, but
Mhm.
I think their chemistry is also just really funny.
I think
Like
yeah.
it starts off with the frying pan.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's so fun. And his conflict with Maximus has me dead. Him and that horse be enemies, dude.
the number in the tavern too is also really good.
I've got a dream.
The guy that collects ceramic unicorns too.
Yes! Very funny.
Oh man. But you know
Wholesome, very wholesome.
something about this movie that has a whole new meaning to it now that it's 2020.
Mhm.
They're from Corona.
I know. I was like, oh my god, I'm scared.
You're like, wait, is that where it started? No!
Alright.
Oh man, hold on. Let me eat this guy real quick. There you go. Oh, Marissa got him. Nice. Thanks, Marissa. Okay, so Tarzan, what do you think?
Maybe. It's not.
I
Like
don't like
I
Tarzan.
don't like Tarzan either. I was gonna say either C or D.
You seemed hesitant to say that.
Yeah.
It's very commonly referred to as the thing that ended the Disney Renaissance, though.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, like, all the other great animated films before it, like Mulan, Aladdin, Hercules, Beauty and the Beast, like all those films that come to mind first, this is the one that is referred to the one that kind of ended it.
Mhm.
And
It's not.
it's not great. The music's fine. Music's fine. It's just it feels so. This was pointed out to me, like in one of those video essays that I watched, but it's so impersonal because the music is performed by not a character. It's performed by Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Which has no relation to the story or characters whatsoever.
Right.
And I think it goes to show that one of the one of the best moments of that whole entire movie is when characters are singing. So whenever they're at the camp.
Yeah.
That's Mom's favorite part too.
That is Mom's favorite part.
And I think that does have a little bit of something to do with it. Okay, so Tarzan, yeah, probably like. Yeah. I thought about it, I was like, actually I'd watch Cars over Tarzan.
Right.
All right. This is a juicy one. Toy Story movies. Where would you put those? Starting from 1 to 4.
Well, let's figure out out of these 4, just within these 4, what these rankings are.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what mine are. Okay? So from best to worst. 1, 3, 4, 2.
1, 3, 4, 2, best.
Yeah.
My favorite ones are 1 and 3. I really like those. I like the third one when Andy moves to college. I think it's a fun little story. Oh.
Yeah, 1, 3, 4, and 2 are like what I would order them at.
Mm-hmm.
You can like manhandle it if you want to. It's not fragile.
Yeah. I mean, I think 1 and 3 are the best ones. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of the 4th one, so I think I would have done like maybe 3, 1 very close to each other, and then 2, and then 4.
See, I like 4, because of all the different characters. And I also like that Bo Peep's like a stealth, like almost stealth agent in a way.
Yeah.
And obviously it pays its homages to some of the prior films with like the lambs and the lamp, the sheep and the lamp, when she goes to rescue them.
Yeah.
And talking about Andy as well a little bit.
I wish that my thing is though is like I wish they had shown more of like Andy in that. To me, it wasn't like as special without Andy being in it.
So okay, there's one thing that I will say about this movie that Marissa said earlier, and Marissa mentioned how she thought that Frozen 2 was sort of made with money on the mind. I think 4 is probably a bigger offender for that.
I agree.
I remember when 4 was announced. I remember thinking like 3 had such a good ending.
That's why I don't really like the 4th one.
The whole so long partner thing, and like the camera pans out, and then like that's like the end of their story. I remember thinking, I was like, what more needs to be told?
Exactly.
And I guess it's an interesting story in its own, but I feel like 2, especially towards the middle, it's slows down a lot. Like with Buzz reflecting on his past, and Woody's over there reminiscing about his show or whatever. I'm just like, all right, come on, let's pick it up.
Let's get a little faster.
I do like there's one scene that everyone talks about with this movie, and it's when Woody's getting cleaned.
Yes, it is so.
Oh, it's so
pleasing.
satisfying.
It's like the original ASMR, because like
it really is
so
it
satisfying
really is
to watch it. The visual triggers as well as the audio triggers, hearing like little sounds of him being
hear
cleaned.
the like twisting of the caps and like the liquid and the rubbing of the alcohol. Oh yeah.
Yes.
That really does it for me.
It's very satisfying to watch.
I would honestly be okay with swapping either of those, because I feel like if you wanted to put 4 above 2, that'd be okay, and if you wanted to put 2 above 4, I'd be fine with that too.
I think 2 goes above 4 for me.
Yeah, I think that's fine also.
I think 4.
But 1 and 3 definitely, definitely the stronger ones.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think 4 would be like maybe a B or C tier.
You think so?
Movie.
Okay,
yeah.
let's place these on the map here. So 1, definitely A.
Yeah.
I'd put it like here. Would you put it above Beauty and the Beast?
Mm-hmm.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
I wouldn't think it's better than Hercules.
And then I think the third one would go just before that one.
Right here?
Yeah. No, just before it.
Oh, right here?
Yes.
Okay. Really? You like 3 more than 1?
I do, because I think it's a very satisfying end to the movies with Andy going to college and the what's his name? Lotso Huggenbear, I think, was a wonderful villain.
Man,
But it was so exciting.
I have such an attachment to this movie because I watched that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And there's so many just funny one-liners in that movie.
Oh, it's a good movie.
I'm
yeah,
Woody.
so.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Aha! Aha!
And then
when they're in the arcade and they're like running as the cup in the burger box and like they hit each other, he's like, "Watch where you're going." Sorry.
Oh, Dad.
Oh, I love that movie.
I think the second one would go in B tier.
Second one, B. Yeah, probably.
Pretty low, I would think.
What about here?
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Actually, here? I feel like it's better than Alice in Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Maybe not than Princess and the Frog, though.
Yeah, and I think 4 would either be low B or...
Yeah, 4 I'd be okay with putting, like, here.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Up. Ooh, there's 3 more. This is the last 3. Up.
Up, I think, is a very cute movie. I think it's B tier.
B? I feel like it should be A just on the opening sequence alone.
Well, I mean, it's a very, what's the word? It's a very good opening scene. But, I don't know. I think, like, I wasn't too attached to, the storyline after a while. Very controversial, I know. But,
I mean, I don't think it is, because, like, the overarching story is good, but the specifics, like his rivalry with that one other explorer guy.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that guy's name. I don't remember what they were beefing about either.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really super into that myself. But that opening sequence and then like the ending too is really, really good. The beginning and the end of this movie are awesome.
Yeah, but it's the middle part that I'm like...
That's weird. Why do movies do that?
I don't know.
I feel like I've said that a lot.
Yeah.
I'd probably put it like here. Probably above Wreck-It Ralph, I think. Well, no, right here.
Okay.
I'd slot it right above Bug's Life. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 2 more. Wall-E.
Wall-E, I think I was not particularly entertained by when I saw it. Very controversial, maybe, but I think maybe C or D.
Really? For Wall-E? What do you think does it for you? Is it the lack of dialogue?
I think it's the lack of dialogue, and I don't know. I like Wall-E as a character. I think he's very cute. I like his little relationship with that other...
With Eva?
With Eva. But, like, I don't know. The story itself just didn't speak to me.
Man, you remember all those parts on the ship when they really find the humans and stuff, and then like the computer like starts... You didn't like that?
I didn't think it was as interesting as the rest of the movies.
Would you say C or D?
Yeah.
Where? Specifically? Itachi said F. Oh my god.
I would probably put it maybe in D tier after Brother Bear.
After Brother Bear.
I just didn't.
You would put it here?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a very.
You would watch Brother Bear over Wall-E?
Okay, maybe before Brother Bear.
You would watch Dinosaur over Wall-E?
Actually, one more. Yeah, that's.
You would watch Meet the Robinsons over Wall-E?
Yes, I would.
Oh wow.
Yes, I would.
Oh wow. Oh, he said F in the chat, not F rank. You like Wall-E a lot? This is
I know it's a very controversial opinion, but in terms of like Disney movies, I have to admit that I prefer like the trend of the movies that are in the S and the A. So like for me, Because when I watched it, I was really young. That's the impression that I have of it. And I'm just not very into, like, I don't know, it felt very post-apocalyptic kind of thing.
It's sort of supposed to be, and it's supposed to depict humans after we end up leaving Earth.
That kind of storyline just isn't, like, my cup of tea. Personally.
Would you watch The Good Dinosaur over WALL-E?
I would watch Meet the Robinsons over WALL-E. I wouldn't watch The Good Dinosaur over Meet the Robinsons or WALL-E.
So here?
Yeah.
Okay. Atlantis? All these movies above WALL-E, you would watch that before WALL-E.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Sleeping Beauty you'd watch over WALL-E?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
It's just my opinion. I'm just not personally very into that kind of storyline. It's not exclusive to Disney movies. It's just any post-apocalyptic kind of movie. Doesn't really speak to me.
Okay. Well, if it were up to me, I would probably put WALL-E like here, or no, here.
Hmm.
I really like that movie. I like because I said that it's about humans and life after Mars, but it's more so about a robot, him, that wakes up and subsequently learns about humans and their history and you know what they're capable of. So it's more so about that, and then he sort of develops those sort of human emotions himself whenever he finds Eva, and he wants to be her friend. So I like it for that.
Yeah.
And it's also just visually really pretty. Takes place in outer space, a lot of blues and blacks, and just really pretty. We destroy ourselves, sad. You know, kind of true. Zootopia.
I actually really like this movie.
Really?
I like Zootopia. I think
it's carried by Shakira. I love Shakira.
I was gonna say Shakira's hardly in it. She's at the end of it.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's a cute movie. I think it would maybe be like a B tier or low A tier.
Adrian says A tier is very entertaining. Fun watch.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's very cute. I think it's a very cute movie. I'd probably put it in A tier, pretty low A tier.
Well, like above Ratatouille, you think?
Well, actually, maybe I'd put it above A Bug's Life.
Here?
And probably before Up.
Before Up, so right here?
Before Up.
Oh, here?
Yeah, probably right.
What did you like about it?
I liked Judy's whole plotline of like wanting to, become a little officer and everything. Her hard work to go into it. I liked her friendship with the other character in this. I thought it was very interesting to watch. I just also thought it was very funny, very cute.
I think it was good. I think it was alright. I think I can accept it being an A. Watch Treasure Planet to pass the time? No, Adrian, watch Goofy Movie. We already talked about this.
It's very good.
Alright, so that was our final one.
I need to...
You need to pick your best and your worst. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my worst.
Yeah. Garbage, dude.
God.
I agree with your worst movie choice. I'd have to also say that Cars 3 is probably the worst one.
Yeah, Cars 3.
So bad.
What would you put as your best? And you guys can let us know too, chat. What would you put in your best out of all of these?
And your worst.
And your worst.
If it's not Cars 3.
I feel like 3 is probably going to be the biggest winner there. I'm sorry, Cars 3 is better than Cars 2?
There's a difference?
There's a difference?
That's crazy, dude.
They're the same! Corporate wants me to find the difference between these two images. They're the same!
I think that now that I've actually taken a look at all of these Disney movies, my favorite, because I think I said at the beginning my favorite movie was probably Aladdin, but now I'm like rethinking it, that I feel like it would either be Coco or Frozen 2.
One of these?
Yeah.
Which one?
I think maybe Frozen 2, because, when you are like, I want to watch a Disney movie, For me, when I think of like, I want to watch a Disney movie right now, it's Frozen 2 a lot more than it is Aladdin. They are my two go-tos, typically. Because they're real. I feel like they're easy to watch multiple times.
Yeah.
But I think Frozen 2 is my favorite Disney movie right now.
Frozen 2 is your favorite, and you would also put Cars 3 as the worst?
Yes.
Well, I guess I'll choose another one just to kind of keep us even with 2 and 2. So, I guess I'll also put Cars 2 in there too. We're just like absolutely trashing on Cars this stream.
We said we hate it.
Oh my god, man. Thank you. Cars 2 is the worst. I don't know what the difference is between Cars 2 and
I'm
3.
not convinced.
I didn't know we had carologists
I'm
in
not
the chat.
convinced there's a significant difference, honestly, between these two movies.
Oh my god. But before we consider this done, is there anything that you want to move or rearrange, or you think it looks good for now?
I think it looks good for now.
Let me see. I'll give it a good once over. So we've got Goofy Movie, Aladdin, Hercules, Toy Story 3, Frozen 2, Mulan, Incredibles. We're gonna call this our co-list because obviously, if this is my list, I would change some. Like Aladdin would be different, and but we'll call this our middle ground. So I think most of it looks good up here until you get to B. I think I would probably move Oliver and Company over Alice. I would probably move Fox and the Hound over 101 Dalmatians. I would probably also move Lady in the Tramp. Lady in the Tramp. C. God, some of these are starting to really blend together. I'd probably put Cars over Hunchback.
Would you put it over
Bolt. Pinocchio. Well, actually, yeah, I'd move it actually up quite a bit. The more I think about it. Wait, what's going on? Cars is climbing.
Not above C.
Not above C, absolutely not. But would it be above Brave? Nah. No, I think that's good. Robin Hood. Yeah, that looks good. And then D, Atlantis, Good Dinosaur. Black Cauldron stays there. Don't think you moving. Yeah, I think this looks good. I think that looks great. So, we'll go ahead and consider that done and done. Brave is in the middle. It's just average. All my 5th graders wanted Cars over Mulan.
Oh my god!
What the heck? What is that? Blake, that's so tragic. Cars 2 had like nothing to do with OG story. It went to races and then just started doing random spy stuff for what reason? Like, bruh. Man. Marissa said Cars, best franchise of all time. Absolutely changed the world. A cinematic masterpiece. That is false information.
Yikes.
All my students don't know what Treasure Planet is. Why people sad? Well, I'm gonna quote one of my favorite characters from Left 4 Dead 2 and say, Boomer! Sounds like a movie day to me, Itachi. Marissa, come over and watch Frozen 2. Come over and watch Frozen 2. It is a wonderful. And I can, like, with relative certainty, say that you'll probably enjoy it more than the first one. All right. Well, I think that is pretty much it. Do you have any final thoughts to share with everyone before we sign off for the day? Sister? I almost hit you with that.
It was a very fun time ranking all of these movies. Took a lot of brain power.
Makes me want to watch them.
Makes me want to watch some of them. But yeah, it was very fun to be here with all of you while we figure out which of these movies is better than others and seeing where our disagreements come from, because I don't think we've really had this much of an in-depth conversation about all the Disney movies before. So this was very exciting and I enjoyed being here.
We'll have to show Mom this too, because I know she'll probably have some thoughts about that.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, this was really fun. I'm glad we did this. We should do more tier lists definitely sometime in the near future. But I will say, at the end of the day, for me personally, always, Emperor's New Groove is going to be on the top. Like, that movie is just so funny. We should watch that for movie night or something. That'd be really fun. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you for sharing your inputs and all that with some of these movies, which actually did have an impact on where I placed some of them. Like Pocahontas was a big one. Yeah, I definitely would have probably placed it a little bit higher had it not for been some of the points that you guys made about it. But yeah, it's been really fun. And as usual, this stream is going to go on YouTube as well. So if you have anybody that wants to spam me with comments about their thoughts of our correct tier list, you can feel free to share that video with them. Or if you want to just go back and listen to our thoughts on each and every single movie on this list, that'll also be a good way to do that too. It'll live on in infamy in there. Anyway, I'm going to be placing this on Twitter sometime in the next however long. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And this has been my sister, and this has been me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, have a good night, or day, morning, whatever time it is for you. Like the video, comment the video, subscribe to the video, whatever YouTube stuff you do. And we'll see you all in the next one, okay? So with all that said, and without further ado, there's only one thing left to say before we take off. That is, of course, as always, I'm correct and stuff. And that is my, what's your name? That's my sister, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye!